Hey everybody, welcome back to the Technically Broken podcast. I'm your, technical producer.
Technical producer, technical director.
I don't know
of many roles.
I was gonna say I don't know what my title is anymore.
Dude, we've all forgot. It all blends in together.
I'm your guy. But I'm Caleb the Hunted. I guess I'm gonna skip the socials for now, but we'll get those at the end. But like I said, I'm Caleb the Hunted, and I'm joined today by my two co-hosts. I guess we'll go straight down the line. We'll go straight to Mario.
Oh, hey everybody. It's Whole Baked Cookie. It's Mario. Just coming back at you. Thank you everybody who has tuned in, who has said comments, left any kind of wording or whatever on the TikTok or anything that is just about the episode. I really appreciate it, and anybody tuned in. But as Caleb said, my name is Mario, Whole Baked Cookie. I'll get to more socials later. But again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you everybody and all our listeners and viewers. Yeah, I really appreciate it. But enough with my intro. Let's go over to my co-host, Botar.
Howdy, everybody. I'm Botar.
You go to Nashville once.
Anyways, so I want to introduce myself again. I'm Botar.
That was my cigarette, man.
Oh, fuck. I just want to go back and say, again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts to everybody. I'm a psychopath, and I check the metrics like every day, and we've got over 100 downloads, which is pretty exciting.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
That
news,
doesn't factor in how many people listen to an episode more than once, but downloads are unique. So if you've already listened to it, it's already downloaded. So that's pretty cool. So that means that 100 people have listened to it, at least 5 seconds of it.
Right.
So that's pretty sick.
I'll take it.
We have like 7 or 8 subscribers on Apple Podcasts, which is pretty dope. I can't check the metrics on Spotify or anything else because we're broke and we don't have that kind of sophistication yet. But anyways,
we'll get there soon.
Yeah, so let's just dive right into the episode today.
I think you guys want to talk about. Well, no. We always do. Let's do a recap, right? What did we even do in episode 5? And for all our viewers and listeners, with your hands up in the air, okay. Say it down in the comments, right? Whatever, down in the YouTube comments, say what your thoughts were on the last episode. You guys like the guest? We're going to have other stuff coming up, but that's what we had. We had a guest on, and it was pretty unique, right? Like, it was a guy from the union. It's our good buddy, Ben. And Ben came on and talked about the union and, like, the steps you got to take, the bad days, the good days, all the steps along the way. It was pretty insightful. It's just because, like, I've never been a union guy. I don't know about you guys. I don't work on telephone lines.
It was unique to hear like his perspective on not just his perspective, but the whole scope of like what his responsibilities are in day-to-day work, and just that like he enjoyed it as much as he does. You know?
Yeah, he did.
It's
like
wild because like a lot of people fucking hate what they do.
Yeah.
Which we do, because,
yeah, I hate this
repair
shit.
world. Fucking hate
it.
Yeah,
you're fixing stuff. But no, you are lucky to find like a role or a niche thing or job or whatever work schedule that you can fit in and it works. And it seems like Ben's really enjoying it and he loves it. It's a different world for me because he talks everything from like voltage and lines to like then just digging ditches and having to just work on the highway. And I'm like, it's just a lot of different stuff. And he tuned in on the Worth It and Junket, so that was cool. He just wanted to play along.
He made it happen actually because none of us had one really.
Yeah, he kind of was just like,
what do you think?
Yeah, he's like, you know what fucking sucks? You know what junk I don't want to talk
Education.
about? Yeah. And then, but it was super cool. And basically, I think we're having guests on, and it's a good time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. And
I think the guests bring like a vitality to it that makes it less monotonous. Not that we're not monotonous yet. We haven't gone on long enough to be monotonous yet. But it brings like an added vitality because it's different every time because we pull people from different scopes of work and different lines of society, and like what they do every day is different from what we're used to experiencing on the daily basis.
Yeah.
So like it's very exciting for me to hear like especially Ben's perspective.
Right. I like to learn about that stuff, right? Sure. I like to be like, what the hell
perspective a couple times ago and what's his face? Oh yeah, you.
I don't know that guy.
Yeah, I think we're just handing out because I think you're gonna like fill us in. There might be some more people coming by in the future, probably. Right,
yeah, I
man?
think so. I think we've got
couple people lined up. So yeah, I don't know.
4 to 5, maybe. I think.
Couple episodes for sure.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
By
And
the
we're
end of
gonna
the year,
fuck.
I think we'll probably have maybe 4 at least. Like
Yeah,
that, I think.
a couple people in different worlds and different expertises
Oh, yeah.
and different steps along the way.
A lot of perspective.
Yeah, then I
Absolutely.
think that's just super important, really fun, and like to just experience their side of their world a little bit. You know, shitting in a bucket is
Oh my
not
God,
cut
dude.
out.
I couldn't believe that was a real thing. I didn't like these guys get paid a bunch of money to just shit in a bucket.
Yeah.
It's not specifically just a shit in a bucket, obviously, but like that's included in that money. It's like, well, we're gonna pay you all these dollars, but you gotta have to shit in that bucket.
Can't even have a good porta shitter around. Like,
No.
damn.
Sometimes
No
you
door,
can't. Job
just a
sites-
hole.
Right. Job sites can be weird as hell. You never know where you're gonna end up and having a shit. Well, we're gonna have more stories about that. Shitting in weird, taking a shit or having shit just happen to you in weird spaces, weird places. And like, yeah, getting away from all that, I think that's just, weird shit or whatever, shit happening in weird places. I think I want to just talk about the suck of the job. Like sometimes the job is shit.
I know.
She left me roses by. Okay, we're not.
Fuck. We're doing a duet later.
Yeah. But the suck of just a general job, I think it's because, like, sometimes you don't even know what the fuck you're getting into, right? We're talking about, it can't just be a mechanical thing. Sometimes, like, where your light bulb goes out in your house. You, like, went to go turn your living room light on.
Yeah.
Well, do people even have light bulbs anymore? Everything's an LED strip.
Well,
so, and Alexa probably
There's
was
LED light
short-circuited.
bulbs, but they really don't go out as often. They
Yeah.
last like fucking forever.
The point is, that's like that's the basic suck of a job. That's what I'm talking about, where you're like, click.
But they're
what
only
the
rated for so many on-offs.
Get the fuck, calm the fuck. Like you
Right.
just got home and the last thing you want to do is now you got to get up. You got to actually fucking go find a light bulb. Hopefully you got light bulbs laying around.
And I know as soon as you walked in the door, and I know all of you have that.
I'd sit in the dark just to spite myself.
All of you just take that. Yeah, I know you guys as listeners and us even. You just get that full body just.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a wholeheartedly
Okay.
lazy person, and I would just sit there in the dark until I was like super inconvenienced and needed the light. I would use the light from my
I'm
phone.
gonna break my pinky toe before I go actually fix that
Yeah.
damn light.
Nope.
Like,
You know
walk- smash it into the-
that light bulb blowing out. You drove home from your job that you were pissed off at
Yeah.
all day long in pure silence. The radio wasn't on.
I've
The
done that
AC
so many
wasn't
times.
on. It was just car drive. You were just. You open the door, click.
No light. Zero light. Less than negative light.
You feel your whole body just.
Is it worse when the light is out or the entire like power is out?
I don't. Okay, power out. You can you all suffer together. I feel like you look at your neighbor and be like,
Yeah.
aha, loser.
Yeah,
fuck
right.
you too.
Yeah.
So I think whole total blackout not as bad. When it's just you or like that light bulb that you like needed because you're gonna smash your pinky toe into a million pieces, or you're gonna trip down those 2 stupid steps. You don't even know why there's 2 stupid steps there, but now your like porch light isn't on. Yeah, you just eat shit.
and then you just lay there for
And-
like 5 minutes.
And a light is, I think, a simple one, but, like, people come home and they're like, their stove doesn't turn on. Or the microwave, like, we all use our microwave every day. Like, you're going to, like, heat up, like, your fucking, like, instant noodle, and it's like, boop, boop,
Encore Salisbury steak.
and it just, the door closes and then that light shuts off forever. That light never to turn back on.
I just would stop eating.
And that's not even, like, a basic job. You're not going to fix a microwave, but, like, the job is then to go get another microwave. The job is having to get off your ass and, like, I can't eat if I don't go get this tonight.
I have one for that. Fucking, when I was moving my old computer desk that I had, that I was giving to my mom, I was pulling it apart. And I didn't pull it apart right, but I'm like, I'm just trying to, wing it. And I was pulling it apart, and part of the desk was like leaning, so it had pressure on it. And as soon as I undid the bolt, the desk smacked the middle of my TV.
Oh, and it's just smashed your
Shattered it. Just
Damn.
to pieces. I turned it on, and it was just spider webs. And I'm just, oh, God! It was 7 o'clock. Oh, no, it was 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, it was earlier. Yeah,
I'm
so
like,
that's
well, guess I'm going to Walmart right now to go get a new goddamn TV.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not always like, it doesn't have to be always a car, or like a leaky roof, but like a bad moment. That's a job in itself to go out of your way to like, I don't know, pitbullate your shoes. Fuck! Those are my favorite shoes and I got a date tonight. Like,
Is it worse when you have like when you just fix something and then another part of that thing fucking breaks and you're like, motherfucker, you just put all that time, effort, and money into that, and then another part of that fucking broken ass
the
thing
next
breaks.
weakest link in the
Yeah,
chain.
exactly.
You're like, this is great. No, it ain't.
I have an example.
Oh God.
I recharged my air conditioning on my Crown Vic a couple weeks ago, and that thing was blowing ice cold. It was beautiful.
You told me you
and you were
recharged
like, "You're still blowing hard," and I was like, "Dude, it's blowing hard every day." It was great. I was like, "All right," and I fucking loved it. And then all of a sudden, I went to go turn her on one day, and it stopped blowing so cold. It was kind of warm, and I was like, "Well, what the fuck is happening here?" And I popped the hood, and I looked inside, and the fucking compressor isn't spinning anymore.
And now that was a job where you're like, easy fix. Nope.
Psych!
I thought.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, partner.
Yeah. Sorry, partner.
It's not
I'm so
happening.
wholeheartedly sorry. to
Compressor said,
inconvenience you.
I'm going to get out.
You know what's even worse than that? At least your whole compressor doesn't work, so you don't have the illusion of it working. Mine works. Anytime I want air conditioning, I have to put a can of Freon in for it to work.
Your
over a
compressor's
day.
fine, but it has a huge leak somewhere.
Yeah,
Right.
it works for a
Yeah.
day, and then I'm fucked.
Then that's where the job keeps going. Right, okay. Isn't now it's like a worth it or junk it? Like, am I going to be able to live with windows down?
Yeah, that's basically
Am I
I've
going to
got like a week left before I don't have to do that anymore because it's starting to cool off.
Yeah.
But like, it was a beautiful 3 days that I had air conditioning and the compressor was just like, adios.
Yeah, see ya. And it doesn't always have to be with like a car. You could be riding. You use a bike every day to get to work, hopefully, or something, right?
Skips
And then the
off.
chain's like, see ya. Like sometimes they just fall off. Sometimes they explode into a million
Your
pieces.
pedal cracks off.
Yeah, bro. Remember when
Yes, I was just thinking about that. I just was about to bring that up when we were riding. Where were we? We were over by
you're
like
having a good
Seneca.
time.
We
You're
were-
having a great time.
Dude, we were just riding, and then all of a sudden, the pedal for my shifter on my motorcycle just disappeared.
Clink, 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 clink down
I
the
just
road.
have a solid bar against my transmission, and I can't do anything. Some guy stopped, was like, "Just bring it over to my house," and we're like, "Okay." He just got a bolt, slapped that thing on there. He's like,
Yeah.
"You guys will be good for a little while."
Yeah.
So I just rigged a bolt to my.
Damn.
Yeah, where it could be just you're having a good day where nobody wants a flat tire.
No,
and that wasn't a flat tire, but that's along the same lines as.
We looked for like half an hour.
We
for
walked.
that.
Yeah, I remember walking up and down that highway area, and then the guy. Lucky enough, there's like some good-hearted, kind soul people out in the world still. But yeah, man, he put a bolt in that shift lever for you, and we got home. Fucking.
That was a long ride.
That's the suck of the job. That was like, how else would we? There was no AutoZone within 40, like not even an Ace within like 40 miles. I think like
I think it was it a Sunday?
probably on a Sunday afternoon. So
no
5-ish,
parts
getting dark out.
Everything's closed.
Yeah, that's
That
the
sucks.
suck of the job where your fucking pipe exploded in the middle of winter, and you're like, I just had my plumbing done or something
that's
stupid. It's
funny.
always
Your
like,
whole basement's full of shit.
Funny that you say that, because I just watched a video like 2 days ago. This guy, he's a what's it called? He takes pictures for
Your mom.
yeah, for people selling houses. He's the guy who goes in and takes the professional
Okay,
pictures
okay.
of the interior of the house to make, put it up on their websites. He walked in to take a picture, and the whole kitchen area and like part of the side was just all of the ceiling tiles and shit were just on the ground
Ugh.
and water pouring out of the ceiling.
that sucks.
A
Yeah,
pipe
burst pipes.
in
Yeah,
the feed line for the toilet exploded in the upstairs bathroom and was running for like a week.
it's just
On
been
a
running.
on a beautiful fucking house, and somebody was
Yeah.
gonna go buy it, and then that happened.
Not today.
I mean, dude. Well, like I just
Hopefully, homeowners insurance is
yeah,
there.
hopefully homeowner. I mean, it's just is it fixed even when it's done? Well, we did your brakes, and then you blew a line. Like
it was
within a week's time, but still, you're like, you have such a high peace of mind. You're like, oh, I'm confident in everything, and then life has to happen, and it's like, nope, you better. Fucking.
I will say I was very fortunate for where it happened.
Yeah.
I was in a McDonald's drive-through, and I put my foot on the brakes, and I pushed like to the floor, and it just went, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And
at least you weren't going right McDonald's, unless you're
Right.
zooming around McDonald's, unless
Yeah.
you're racing.
Well, look, and more times than not, you're probably going to have that on something older. I mean, does it happen on new shit? Absolutely.
I would say absolutely.
Absolutely.
Man.
I mean, things are always going to be flawed. There's no such thing as perfect in our world. Never. The closest you can get is almost, but like
Almost, yeah. You're always even new cars leak from
As the boomers
gaskets.
say, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
well, you can only get
As
a
our
dial-
parents would say.
A computer can only get something so perfect when it's milling something, when it's
I mean, yeah, we're like not close. I shouldn't say close to perfect, but like a lot of things like are we're accurate with a lot of shit now.
Right.
Almost too accurate, and that's what makes the bean counters tell the engineers we can't spend that penny on that extra thick gasket that's 1,000th. A 10,000th. That's the difference of a quality made part and then a not. That's what makes jobs suck even more. We could talk about like engineer shit. I always want to say I never want to talk about the engineering side because I wouldn't know. But we've all had to fabricate or make some shit or glue something, or we had JB Weld as a worth it or junk it because you're making something trying
Right.
to. That's like the suck that you don't want to experience over and over.
right. And going on that, it's like if you have shit running down an assembly line, if that piece isn't specifically placed perfectly in this grid square where it's 1/8 of an inch to the left or right, guess what? That part is now not gonna work.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean it's like for 3D printing. You're a 3D printer, right?
Yeah.
It'll be off if that table or whatever moves a little bit.
Well, I printed. I did those shifter linking things for your
For my
racing
sim,
rig.
yeah, for my sim.
And like you could see on the one, the table had shifted over like a millimeter, and you could definitely see where it was out. It had gone out in the center, and it came back. It wasn't enough to affect the usability of it.
Yeah,
but you
we
can
ended up
definitely
sanding it down.
You can definitely tell.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just maybe something glitched. Maybe there's a computer's not always going to be the most perfect thing. And going away from computers even too, like say like Aston Martin, like cars. We'll go to cars for this one. Most every Aston Martin is hand built.
They're like hand
in a
built,
factory,
yeah.
hand built.
Yeah.
So you're going to have imperfections all the time.
Most British things are hand built and barely hold together. But let's
Well,
not
that's
talk about
like
it.
I watched a video and it's specifically about this. This guy bought a brand new like DB9 off the lot.
yeah, I guess.
Had 2 miles on it from the track.
performance sports car. Like could be side.
He
exotic,
came back
almost
the
exotic.
next day after he bought it, and there was like little chalk marks on every little imperfection on the car. And he's like, "It's a hand-built car. Like, what did you expect? Everything was molded by hand, put together by hand. Like, you're gonna have imperfections." And nope.
Don't they only make like a handful of cars those years?
It depends on
each
what
year?
the models
So,
are. Yeah, the
right.
177 is like a hand built. Only 77 were made of the 177, I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so you had to be on a waiting list. You've had to own all those exotic manufacturers have waiting lists and only like for the new car dates and all that. So
Right.
you have to get on like to get a new SF90 Ferrari. You have to definitely know somebody, be on a list.
So there is. It's like you're gonna have that, margin of error because nothing's
Yeah.
perfect.
Nothing's perfect. You're gonna have a bad part, man. That's what makes you putting on a fucking bad alternator. Like fresh out of the box, you're like, it's gonna charge my battery, and it's not a new goofy computer controlled alternator. We're talking about an alternator for like your car, your Crown, like the Crown Vic, your Ford. Like, when it's running, it should be a 13.5 to 14 or something, and then you put a brand new alternator on, and it's fucking 11. like
I'd be
like
so
on the
mad.
voltmeter. We're talking about for people that don't understand that you just test parts. Hopefully, when you put them on, and for like an alternator, you just use a voltmeter for something old, and it should have a certain battery voltage. And if it don't, it's bad. It's plain and simple. So
The alternator on that thing's probably not too bad to change. Cause
for
of
your
where it's
car, no,
located,
not so
but
bad.
It's still a pain in the ass because you
yeah.
got to motivate yourself to do it.
But
you got
this-
to do it.
This goddamn Volkswagen right here, not a chance, dude. That thing's gonna take you a while.
That's because it's German, and everything German is
Everything's
kompliziert.
Yeah. We got a rental in front of us. It's what was it?
A Volkswagen Passat,
Passat, probably like a 21.
something.
We'll probably look at it later. Yeah, we're gonna mess with it later.
Funny story.
Dude, yeah, hey guys, we're talking about cars here now.
Funny story. I grabbed it and I had to go to Walmart, so I'm going to Walmart and a little light pops up, and it says check oil. I'm like, I'll check that at Walmart. Okay. Stopped at Walmart. Quart low.
It was a quart low.
I'm like, huh.
That's a rental car.
That's funny. So I went in. I'm like, you know what? I don't want the car to blow up on my trip.
You should record
So
that.
You should record that though.
I was like, okay. I just went in and got the Walmart cheapo special
Super Tech. Yeah.
Super Tech. It just it went away. I'm like, cool. I pulled the cover off the top of that motor because you have to.
Yeah.
And that shit is so dirty.
Really?
It's so dirty.
It's a mess. It's a rental, man. People just abuse and beat, and that's why jobs suck. People don't maintain shit.
Nope.
No.
They don't, like, come on, people, just do your oil changes. Like, you change your socks every day, hopefully, or, I don't know, your underwear every other day, something like that. Like, your oils, your tires, your brakes, your fucking windshield. People change your windshield wipers.
Yeah.
I see half of you
Oh my God.
motherfuckers going down the road ready to crash into me. And that's just cars. If you have a water heater in your house, flush that motherfucker. Like, if you
Flush
have
your toilet.
Yeah, flush your water heaters. You should, especially if you have hard water. If you have gutters, maybe pull the shit out of them so they drain correctly, and like your gutters won't rip off your house. Like,
And that's, going into...
pull the lint out of your dryers before you burn
Holy
your fucking
shit.
Oh my God.
Pull the lint
People
out of
don't,
your
wait, people don't do that?
Yeah. Chad's
dude.
X, Chad's X didn't know that was a thing.
What?
He pulled like a 2-inch thick,
Dude.
solid strip.
It doesn't dry if you don't take the lint
It
out.
doesn't dry. They were like, "Why are our clothes taking 9 hours?" Like,
Well, why do you
Fucking
think?
stupid.
that's the suck of it. You know what? That's the job. You're doing laundry. The suck of it is make sure I don't burn my
Maintenance.
fucking make sure.
And-
That's almost right. We could substitute the word maintenance for suck, but it's like you just take those.
You got to do prep too.
Yeah, you got right.
Well, and here's the other side of it for me. So, obviously it fits perfectly well into what you're talking about. We had a guy come in, and he wanted an oil change. No big deal. All right, we get on it. Climb under the truck. Whole ass end of the oil pan coated in oil.
That's not good.
yeah,
Your gasket's gone, dude.
gasket,
Sorry.
some's leaking like a motherfucker.
Going down the rest of the truck because I'm not every mechanic shop is gonna have this, and I understand. You want an oil change, you're getting an oil change. That's it. We're getting you out the door. Bing bang boom. We, in my job, we have a very specific list of things we have to go over per our policy to make sure your vehicle. This is going to be an 80,000+ pound
like
vehicle.
a DOT check kind of deal,
Kinda, yeah.
kind of, but like maybe a little more because the
Right.
company wants whatever the
Right.
company wants.
So our company covers, I guess it would be covering our ass. We go down and, hey, we're going to check over everything we can see to make sure everything's correct. So, we're doing our job. We see that. Okay, we're going to let him know. Go down. One of his U-joints is completely fucked.
Oh, you just click, click, clack.
Yep,
clack,
can move that whole drive shaft around. Like, oh, okay. One of his airbags is leaking. One
Yeah,
of his
I bet.
shocks is spent.
Yeah.
His brakes are bad. Like, there was a list of like 9 things on this semi that pulled in, and we're like, okay, we're gonna send it over and be like, hey man, this is what's wrong. And as soon as we told him, he jumped down our throats. He's like, there's nothing wrong with my goddamn truck. Fucking, you guys are just trying to push work on me. Blah, blah, he was just an our mechanic, and he said there's nothing fucking wrong with it. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, sir, like, the driver didn't give a fuck. He was just like, you do what you gotta, I don't care. But the owner was like, no, there's nothing fucking wrong with it.
Well,
Blah, blah,
the driver
fucking-
doesn't give a shit. He doesn't pay for it.
Right.
Well, it depends
But-
in some instances, right?
But we're like, okay, sir, like, I get it, but he's like, why every time do I come into this certain establishment, do I not get this like, nobody says anything, but when I come into your place, you guys fucking say something. It's like, because we hold ourselves to a
doing our
standard.
job. Yeah, because this is almost a perfect segue into a conspiracy.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
But, yeah, no, it got to the point where he was just mad. Fucking mad. And
that
I'm-
guy thought you guys were fucking him. You
Yeah,
guys, that
he
guy,
totally thought we were. And we're like, no, sir, like, we can take your driver out there and show him every issue we found. Like,
yeah.
and he just wanted at the end, he had a wheel seal out too. He's like, fix the wheel seal and then just do the oil change. We'll do the rest at the shop. Like, okay, we just want.
How often do you think that happens though with the customer? Do you think you guys try to sell? It's not even an upsell. You guys trying to just do your job. We're telling them what's wrong.
Right, yes,
But
I mean,
there's places that might. We'll talk about it in a second.
Is it encouraged to upsell?
You guys,
Yes.
I'm talking about you, Caleb, as you like. You're
Me
like,
personally-
I just want to make sure their truck is
Yeah,
okay.
me personally, I just want.
Right.
If I go down and I see something's broke, I'm gonna let them know. If I don't see anything, I'm like, why? Oh, that's kind of. Hey, sir, you need a new one. No, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I already know. And this can be any, corporate, whatever the fuck, but it's like, I know the fact that when a person comes in and they want one thing done, as soon as I tell them they need 3 things done, they are going to shit kittens because they don't want to spend that money.
Yeah.
Well, and then it depends on the customer and what kind of world you live in.
Right.
Because my world is a lot different
It's that,
than that
and
now.
it's about the context. It's about the delivery,
Right.
and it's about how they feel and their level of knowledge.
You think it's
Right.
customer relations?
It's for sure.
It's
Right.
like
It's
you gotta-
100% reliant upon what kind of customer you have.
You talk to them, know
Yeah,
them.
you have to gauge your customer because everything to like. Okay, so I have a whole spiel on this, and I could go on it about forever. I have a whole thing that we could go on like in a later episode, more in depth. But basically,
Don't get him started, folks.
Yeah,
This guy's gonna go
it's
out. He's got a
huge.
cowboy hat. He's
But-
got to calm down.
relax, partner.
Partner.
But like basically, what it boils down to is like if you have no knowledge, everything feels like an upsell.
Yeah.
Because especially if you're going to a shop that you've never been to before, you don't have that trust, you don't have that rapport.
Do we know this
Everything-
guy? Right.
Right.
Are you going off a Google
Does it
review?
feel shifty,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yelp
Everything
review?
feels like an upsell. Everything feels shady until like if I go into a shop and I have a bad brake line, I know what my problem is, right? But if that guy comes out and goes, well, you got a bad brake line, you need 17 different O2 sensors, I got to fill up your blinker fluid, I got to do all this other shit for you there, son.
You got to repack your
And
muffler
you're
bearings.
You're like, if I know, I was like, all right, no, I went over this car like 8 times. Maybe
I just don't have
need
a flare.
couple-
I don't have a flare tool for my brakes or something.
Maybe I need a couple brake pads later down the road, but I know that I came in here for the line, just fix the line. They don't get that upsell. It sucks for them. It is what it is. But like
That's the mechanic world.
right?
That's-
But I would feel comfortable. But if I go in there knowing nothing, and they're like, well, you got 1702 sensors out, and all you fucking all you got to replace your brakes, your tires, and your rotors, and everything, and you got to
It's
replace them
scary.
headlights.
You're like, fuck this.
And
I'm not
Your
fucking.
bill went from $20
Yeah.
plus labor, which is probably like $100 an hour, basic. So you came out from $150 maybe to now you're paying $2,000,
Yeah.
and you're like, fuck. And then,
No, I can't even afford this.
and then what they do is
The
like,
suck of
all
the
right,
job.
all right, what
Oh,
you
yeah.
could do is you could wait on these couple things. It'll knock it down to like 1,100.
Yeah.
You feel like you're getting a deal.
Kinda, yeah, and that's it's not scummy, but I
No,
I would
it's-
approach customers the same way. Even in the world that I live in, I'm like, have an emergency, and we need to fix this. We need to do it, and then there's like, let's put some attention on that in the future.
Yeah, but the things. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
The things that you fix are like important in that moment immediately. It's not like we're driving civilian cars every day, like around every day, and like, well, I could fix that later
Yeah.
down the road. You're on a track, and like it's life or death.
Yeah,
Or it's lap times,
I fix
you know?
everything, but yeah, for the racetrack, I'm very obviously motorsports oriented.
Yeah.
From a motorcycle, I'll race goddamn bobsleds. I don't care if you got a donut that goes down a like snowy hill. I'm racing it. So, like the idea is safety though. I mean, like brakes, suspension, whatever. It's just maybe that's a different world, but it's still the point is it's like thinking the customer relations, and this is what you were talking about is like. You have to be the customer relations, you have to be eggshells, walking on eggshells or talk to them in a way and it's not even an upsell. It's just to be safe on the road.
Right.
Like you got family and fucking nieces and nephews and sisters and brothers and cousins. Like we don't want any other piece of shit leaking 100 gallons of oil a day.
Yeah, no.
Like,
And it's for me, like when I come to this situation, and as I already know it's going to be an issue, it's like, hey, the way I would sell it is like, it's not really selling it. It's the way I portray myself to the customer. It'd be like, hey, I'd recommend 2 of 10 tires on your semi are pretty bald, And if you get stopped, you're probably going to hit DOT, and they're probably going to shut your truck down.
Oh, yeah, in your world. Okay, the
Yeah,
truck
in my
world.
world,
In
in
the
my
truck
world.
world, yeah.
I
And
would-
DOT is
yeah.
important, right?
Yes,
It's
the
Department of
Department of
Transportation.
Transportation,
Yeah. And you can tell them it's like, well, they
It's-
check your shit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
so they will go over everything, and we even do these DOT checks where I work. If there's any sort, there's a specific variance you can have with everything you have. So like tires, I think the minimum on drives is like 2 30 seconds.
we're talking about the depth. So,
Yes.
like for everybody else that might, our listeners, viewers, is like you can take the penny trick. If you can see Lincoln's like nose or something, your tires are okay. You put Lincoln or the penny in your tire, and if you can see like his nose, you have enough tire tread. But if you can like see his hair, you need fucking tires.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess around. Like people, you hit a bad puddle. So the DOTs you're talking about, like they need a certain amount of tire.
Right,
Like
correct.
your tire needs to be newer or it has to have more life in it.
Well,
But if
yes.
not, like bad things
yeah.
can fucking happen.
And especially with DOT, DOT is basically generally your state police officers that are doing it that are enforcing these rules. You'll see them at any way station. Any state cop can pull anybody over for any reason and be like, "Well, I think you need a DOT check." Okay, he's going to immediately go down your vehicle and see if anything's broken, anything's leaking.
Yeah.
He's going to check your brakes. He's going to check your tires. He's going to check your mirrors. He's going to check your lights. He's going to make sure
Airbags,
there's
right?
no
Airbag.
if there's yeah
Giving
buttholes.
out handies. Check that guy.
maybe after the
He's
episode.
got no gloves on. Get him.
He's going to check to see if there's a crack in your windshield.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, on a moving semi, if there is a crack, I'm not saying a chip. A chip is perfectly
Yeah.
legal and fine. If there is a crack that is immediate DOT fail, that truck is now shut down until it is fixed and can only be towed away from where it was.
Damn,
That's what we just had that conversation about. Yeah,
Yes.
like getting. Can you imagine? Let's like no work today, and you're
Yeah.
like, but I need money. Can I like have
Right.
bills? They're like, you don't get paid. You don't like, dude. So for the police to hold that like authority over things going down there, it's important, but it's like, it pisses me off just because I don't.
It sucks.
Right, like,
But in the other sense of it, it's like
There's
they're
people out
making
there
sure
s-
people are safe.
they're making sure people, but sometimes, man, like
they take
the
a power
hardest
trip.
working guys are the guys with that rickety, like let's all picture a 1933 cartoon with a tractor
mechanic
guy.
special.
Yeah, right. Leaking,
They know what's broken.
Smokey Joe
They just
rolling
choose
down
not to
coal.
fix it. They know what's broken.
I don't
They just
know.
choose not to fix it.
Yeah, but they can fucking wheel that piece of equipment. They can move that fucking whatever it is.
They know if they
Right.
clean off the oil and the mud and the stuff, it's going to keep leaking oil. That's why they leave it.
Problem is, the problem comes when they're like, my blinker's not working, and that ruins their day, and then they
Right.
can't get like. So, dude, I don't know. It's a fine line for me of like the DOT stuff. We can probably get into that another day.
Right.
But I think that was like, yeah, that's just like. Okay, let's come back to it here in a minute. I was gonna say, like, that's the suck from the conspiracy. Are we trying to get fucked on the customers?
Right.
So
I
we'll
mean,
come back in a minute, everybody,
All right.
and we'll fill you guys in on. Well, I don't know. Are we getting screwed?
I'm coming back.
Yeah, we're coming.
So, have you been fucked? So yeah, I just want to get into that. Not the sexual kind. Well, maybe. Depending.
Maybe, depending how
Depending.
bad it is.
So there's this conspiracy
good.
theory that I have that I think that a lot of people share, probably people on the internet share, that
Spit it out. Let's get into the weeds, man.
Okay,
It
so
sucks.
it sucks because like I think that some mechanic
Inverse.
shops break shit on purpose so that you have to keep coming back to get shit fixed and they make more money off you.
Right. Just plain and simple. Like, you think some
Yeah.
shops will screw the
And
customer.
I have like a personal experience that I'm gonna get into here.
Is there
Um,
shops that do that? I think absolutely.
So so
Fuck, dude.
I got
Are
a
you kidding me?
'94 Jeep Wrangler from my mom back. Well, she didn't give it to me; she let me drive it, but it was
Way
my
back in
responsibility
the
while I was
day.
driving it. I'm sorry.
Way back in the day.
Here, this is the early 2010s. So,
Get the fuck out of here.
so yes,
that was
she let me-
2000s. We're older. Sorry, I had to
I
clarify.
didn't get
Holy
the Jeep.
shit.
I didn't get the Jeep until the 2010s.
Oh, okay.
So-
but it
so
was like.
I got the
decade.
Yeah, so I was driving
Going
the
on
Jeep
two.
around probably 2010-ish, 2011. But anyways, the condition was is that while I drove it, I had to maintain it, I had to take care of it, I had to do all the shit on it. So I had a fuse box issue when I first started driving the Jeep. It was very temperamental, and you would click the key in the on position, and it would not prime. It wouldn't do anything. You'd have to wait. You'd have to turn it on and off, wait for that fuse box to click, and then it would be like, all right, good, I can leave. So I took it in.
Wait, what year was this? This was like a 90.
It was a 94.
94
Yeah.
JK Wrangler. Just a Wrangler, right?
It was a YK.
Y-
YJ, sorry.
YJ.
It was a YJ.
With
It
a
was Wrangler.
5-speed?
It had a 5-speed
Yeah.
manual transmission, yep, and it had the square headlights.
With a 2.4. Not
It was
the.
a 4.0.
It was a 4 inline
Yeah.
6.
Was this the one that had a cracked frame?
No, it had a rusted frame, and it wasn't cracked. It was literally rusted in half.
Close enough. I think.
I thought you could probably call it a
Junk
crack,
that bitch.
but like it was like half of the frame was like just not together anymore, and the floors weren't there. This thing was an absolute shitbox, but I loved it.
Clapped
And
out Jeeps.
I took it
Jeep
to
with
the
a
local
4.0,
shop.
no less.
I took it to the local shop where I lived because we'd taken all of our cars there, and after I got the fuse box fixed, which was only like $80, it wasn't terrible. I started noticing that I had other things going wrong with the Jeep, like the brakes. The brakes were worn out initially, but then I had a line pop just mysteriously. Went in there, took it, got fixed, and then a couple weeks later, something else broke. Something else minute that would take a minute to break, but like they could do something to make it break, I guess. And like I got suspicious after like the 4th or 5th time, and like I stopped driving the Jeep because I ended up getting a different car.
But you kept going back to
But
the
I
shop.
kept going to the same shop.
And
I
you were
never
like,
went to a different
are they
shop after
fucking
that.
me? Are
And
they
I'm like,
fucking
what
doing
the
some
fuck?
shit?
And then finally
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going back to that place because
Are they doing some shady shit?
I found out from somebody that I know. You guys probably don't know him because he's not real. I'm just kidding. He's real.
I just made this up 5 minutes
He
ago.
used to work there. He used to work there, and the owner would actually tell him to, like, hey, you see that there? Loosen that bolt so they have to come in next week to get that shit fixed because it's going to fall off. And I'm like, dude, that's like not
Hearsay.
safe.
Who
It's
knows?
not safe. And like, I don't know for sure.
Right.
But like just hearing that confirmed my own suspicions. Like in that moment, I was like, that son of a bitch, I fucking knew it. And I was like, fuck. And if he's doing it, somebody else is doing it. Other places are doing it. It's happening all the time everywhere. Everybody's getting fucked all the time. Fucking breaking shit. Come and get it fixed. Break more shit. Break that shit. Fix it. Break it. Fucking
Wait.
stupid.
Is a customer stuck paying for it?
Yeah,
That's always like,
always.
is the customer stuck, or is the shop gonna be like,
Well, like one out
well,
of
some shops are cool, right? They're like, okay, the part is $8,000. We're paying $7,500. Please just help us on the
the
lab.
problem is that shops like that
That doesn't
are
exist.
local shops
That'd be
for
crazy
like
if it did.
They're local shops for like rural areas, right? So their clientele is basically everyone in the immediate vicinity of that town,
Yeah,
And so, like-
it's small town world shit.
Right, and so
hey, you're waving at your neighbor
They
because you know your
everybody,
neighbor.
and like you don't want to shit on that guy, but like at the same time, it's like you're in a pickle.
That guy
you
fucked
gotta,
your shit up?
You gotta trust that person.
I don't know. He
I
fucked
don't
your
know.
shit up, man.
Fuck
You
your
got to
shit
come
up.
back to him, and
Right.
every time you go back to him, it's $350.
Dude, it's so much.
So-
fun. And one out of those 5 times, you're like, oh, it's on us. Oh,
Yeah,
cool. You feel
exactly.
Like you're getting a deal.
Right. I think that's where I'm like, it does happen where like I have ruined a part. I live in a weird world or like very specific. So in my instances, like when I ruin a part, it can be like, this is either an eBay only. We have to find, a one-off from another guy across halfway around the world, and this isn't going to run either way. Or, like, I'll pay for it in the sense of like I'll refurbish it, rebuild it, and it's not good. But a shop or a guy that can do that for you and at least tell you the whole like every step along the way, like it might have been ruined, whatever. But the shop that's like, by the way, also this, and did you know? And you're like, is this?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one thing if the guy, look, this happened, and I'm trying to help you cover this because it's obviously on the shop,
But also, how many instances are there where a mechanic or somebody involved in that
It's
breaks
just like, hey, buddy.
Well,
yeah,
that
like-
breaks something by accident even, and then doesn't say anything.
Well, you have dealt, even in your short world of the diesel world, mechanic world, you have dealt with people that just ruin shit. Just absolutely thrashed on a fucking motherfucker of a bolt. You know what? It wasn't it was a 2023 whatever. It's something brand new and it shouldn't be fucking broken. But now the wrong person touched it.
Yep.
So instead, and you know, that's not a conspiracy. When you can get clarification that a mechanic ruined a part and you're getting covered for it, but that affects you now as the customer, as the person getting a repair. You're like, so my car's burnt down, and they're like, well, the tires survived.
I just coming in on like not the consumer, but the actual person doing the job.
The repairman, the mechanic,
repairman.
the technician,
Me personally, I hate that. I really do, because it's like I've had and I believe we've talked about it before. You know, I've had instances where somebody was helping me do a job, and they fucked it up, royally fucked something up, and I'm like, okay, well now I got to go talk to the customer and be like, hey, so this guy was working on your truck and he fucked it up.
Hey man, that job sucks. That job fucking sucks.
Like,
but yeah,
Bad news delivery guy sucks.
So in your instance, that wasn't a shop just trying to get more money. It was like you're trying to do your job and somebody, dude, they threw like Worcestershire sauce in your cake. There is now onions in your pudding. Like things that don't and shouldn't make sense. There's diesel in your gas tank. Yep. There is diesel in your gas tank. How?
Fuck all that.
Oh, you see?
I think some people are more accepting of that situation when you have somebody that actually comes up to them and be like, hey man, I hate to inform you of this, like if you're all open about what happened, you know, you're going to clarify the situation like, hey, man, not going to lie to you, we were working on your shit, and honest, somebody came up and was trying to help, and he totally fucked your shit.
He didn't help shit.
No, he ruined it. He absolutely...
He did the opposite of help. He broke fucking...
He totally screwed the pooch.
Fuck that guy. You know what? I'll show you who he is.
You go point him on the shop.
That one right there. Fuck that guy.
And I've had a couple instances.
Yeah, I was like, you had experienced that first.
Yeah.
In this world more so. In any job, so you could be driving a forklift, and some guy just fucking fucks everything up, or like, in your world, it just could be the wrong color, right? Like, because you do printing and like
the wrong fucking file. Like, oh, I grabbed the wrong file. Hey, this customer placed an order. Like, for example, a customer placed an order. They'll notice a typo in it after the fact. After they get their shirts, they're like, well, you know what? That's my fault. So they'll place a reorder with new art, and then we print the same shit with the fucking typo in it
with
again.
the bad shit. So
it's like, oh,
you eat all that. In the printing world, the T-shirt, whatever, you're like,
the margins are so thin too in the printing world that
so it's bad.
You lose money immediately.
Dude,
right.
Oh my god, I just thought about it. It's like in your world, it's like, oh yeah, our customer just placed an order for like 30 shirts that say happy birthday grandma, 85th birthday, and they just get fucking a whole bunch of shirts with some dude's butthole pressed against
It's
glass.
just the worst. JPEG. Whoa, I loaded the wrong one. We printed 800 of these. 800
Nobody
T-shirts.
said anything the whole time.
800 asshole T-shirts. Thanks, Botar.
Just a side
You
note.
suck.
Just a side note. We do get some really questionable ones, like online. We get some really fucking fucked ones.
Really?
Like, I think there was one that said, I know this is political, so I apologize ahead of time, but there was one that said, vote for Trump or kill yourself. Damn.
Okay, maybe a little extreme, but kind of badass.
Could you imagine
Suicide is badass. No, that's fucked
Could you
up.
imagine that birthday party for grandma and it's just butthole shirts?
Grandma, so we did this thing for you. We ordered you 30 shirts, but we actually got 800 of them. That's the good news. The bad news is it's a black man's butthole.
It's just one one poor Jamaican soul. Where did we get this picture? Don't ask.
It just says Black Leak on the
on the corner. Oh, that's above and beyond of fucking up a job.
For clarity, those shirts would never have left the shop.
No.
It's fun to think about. It's fun to think about.
It'd just be funny it would suck.
We say this shit, and then we've heard of the Nazi pizza. And if you haven't heard of the Nazi pizza, just Google it. But like Little Caesar employees thought it'd be funny to put like pepperonis, and like that's like an employee thing, right? So it's your coworker thing, like screwing your job up or whatever. That's just on a pizza, but they put a swastika symbol into a pizza with pepperoni, and you're like, this made it to a customer? How did this make it to? So in our world, sometimes Your
I wanna do
mom
that
is a
now.
good one where she got her car back.
Oh my
Your
God,
mom
yeah.
drove a Dodge Skittle, a fucking neon,
Yeah,
a silver Skittle with a 2.4, just whatever.
Yep.
A
5-speed.
2004-ish?
I think it was a 7.
Whatever. It was like a 5-speed. But the point is, 5-speed with a clutch.
Yeah.
And then they're like, car's ready. Come on in. Blah, 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 blah. We love you as a customer. She gets there. And then
Didn't even get out of the parking
your
lot.
mom is one to let you know where you fuck up. And that's important. Also, be that. Don't tell people. Don't wait till you volcano. Tell people when you fuck up. Be like,
Immediately volcano, and don't wait. Just do it then.
that's what happened. That's what happened.
Yell at customer service representatives. Be a man.
Shit all over them.
That's the truth. So was that like or was that just a bad tech? Is conspiracy on the upsell of uninformed technician and uninformed mechanic that didn't a kid?
I'll give people the benefit of the doubt that sometimes accidents happen, or
Yes.
sometimes you have such a large workload with like 16 work orders on one car, you forget one thing. Like maybe they had to do a bunch of shit, and then the clutch was like the last thing.
Because
Like,
they're waiting for everything.
We got it, and then the fuck, we didn't do the clutch. Oh shit, she's here already. Fuck. Like
I don't know, man. It's hard to fuck that up. The fact that they got it even back in the service bay,
yeah.
that's bananas. That is insane to me.
That
A competent oil change kid, and I don't mean to call anybody a kid, a competent oil changer, an oil slinger, a fucking greaser, like in the sense of like the guys who just put grease on chains on the Navy, like the people that protect our world. We're talking a big fucking aircraft carrier. There's guys that just put grease on chains. If that guy doesn't do his fucking job, I don't know, bad shit could happen.
I mean, there's bad techs, so there's also bad customers.
Yeah,
That's
the
true.
customers that just get mad. The car's perfect. They're
okay,
like,
I have
there's
a-
a spot of grease
There's an
in
example that goes
in my
along
hand.
with that.
It's on my hand because I touched something
There's an
on the way to the
example that
car.
goes
It's not
along
even
with
in the
that.
car. It's
So,
on their hand.
Buddy of mine that I haven't really seen in a long time, and I'm sorry for that. Anyways, he works for BMW, and maybe we could get him on here one time. But I don't know the full story.
Great idea. Future plans, everybody.
But I don't know the full story, but I know that he had this customer that was very, very particular about their BMW. And he's like, I've cleaned this thing by hand every single day. I vacuum it, I shampoo it, I clean it. I know every fucking fiber on this car. If anything is out of place when I get it back, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind, and I will fucking fuck you. Well, he got the car.
He got the car.
And I don't know what happened, but he did something, and he thought he got everything back together, but he missed like one clip.
I know he'll tell the story. Hopefully
Yeah.
we can get him on, but it was a screw. It was literally a screw. Like he had to take the glove box panel off, but there was one, and it had 6, if I remember the way he described it. He's very specific. He got all the front 4 ones, and then there's
So
2
you've heard
that
the story before.
I know the story,
Yeah.
and he forgot the one. And also when he took it out, it marred it for some reason. It was like too tight from the factory, so it was like it slightly started to split the plastic.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even broken or cracked. It was just like there's plenty of meat still on the bracketry and the plastic lower guard on that glove box. But like when he took it off, the guy noticed it because he put everything back and he forgot the one or whatever. He forgot one screw or it wasn't all the way tight.
Yeah,
It was, and they lost their mind.
yeah.
So like that, I don't know if that's a customer thing. Jim, sorry, I'm gonna bleep. Jim, like the guy, did everything he could have, everything he was supposed to. So
Yeah.
you will have, and like,
So is that a
from-
bad customer or just like a particular one you got to watch out for?
So you'll have those customers for sure that are just like, I want everything done the way I want it. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, that's great, but when you get down to the nitty gritty, it's like, I'm not taking the bolts off in the way you want it. I'm gonna do it what's best for me to do the job.
you have to deviate from the plan.
Right. And sometimes you have to make some shit up and kind of go on the fly because, oh, well, I don't have the correct tool. I don't have, the correct spacing to get a tool in there,
Agreed, dude. Agreed 100%.
So well, only take my tires off with a wooden spatula. No.
You have to do it with only your fingertips.
only
no.
the tips.
Like, I get it. I have an instance. And this is more bad tech than it is like overbearing customer. This guy came in with like a very custom Peterbilt semi.
Okay.
Like hundreds of thousands of dollars have been spent to make this thing custom.
Oh yeah, and if our viewers, listeners don't know, semi diesel trucks, the stuff that moves your groceries, your lumber, everything, gas. Some of those trucks are worth $1 million or more.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're driving around with multi-$1,000 machines that get your stuff to where you need to, and you probably see it, right?
Yeah, oh,
you
yeah.
see it,
Oh, yeah.
like stuff with nice paint, really nice. It looks cool. It sounds
like,
good.
So many lights.
It's all of the lights.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Christmas trees rolling down the road.
You know, anywhere from like the lug nuts that hold your tires on,
Yeah.
custom lug nuts.
Oh, yeah.
The rims, the mirrors, the lights, the
It's
paint
a custom rim job.
Yeah.
nice.
Excuse me. So this guy rolls in. I think he needed a tire, or he needed his tires balanced or something. I cannot remember what. But in our guidebook, when you're doing things, you're always supposed to wire brush off anything that meets contact with anything. So if you pull a tire off, you're supposed to wire brush off the hub so there's no rust
Yeah.
in between the hub and the rim.
So as you pull it, off,
Right.
it doesn't.
And so when you put
It's
it back
paint
on,
flanks. They always paint flanks.
yeah,
on
and
it.
when you put the hub or the rim back onto the hub, there's nothing in between the rim and the hub, so the rim doesn't vibrate and you don't have it fully tight. This kid thought with these thousands of dollar rims, custom painted rims, that the rim is also a meeting face. Like that.
So he wanted to brush it.
He wire brushed the fucking
Oh fuck! Well,
rim.
at
and-
least it's not shown.
No, it was outside rim.
Oh
Where
fuck,
the lug
man!
nuts-
Because he thought where the lug nuts
Yes.
went.
He ruined this guy's rims. The shop had to reimburse him
Oh
for
my
thousands of dollars.
Chrome plated,
Chrome-plated rims.
fancy, nice
Fancy,
looking,
fancy
yeah,
fucking
nice
rims.
looking shit.
And he's like, what? It's a mating surface. I thought it says
Yeah.
to do it. He was
And-
told by multiple people, do not do this. It is going to ruin. That's not what the handbook says.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you now, you're going to have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Or the company's going to have to.
Listeners and viewers, if you don't understand
Holy
the degree of like what happened, it's like this is the outside of a rim. Go out to your car, go out to your bicycle, whatever, your motorcycle, and then just ruin the rim. Just go throw pebbles and then scratch it with chunks of metal and a wire fence and a whatever screwdrivers. You just chip your rims up. And I'm guessing in the same sense, that's what this kid did to this guy's
Oh,
truck.
yeah, yeah.
And like,
God.
and it's one thing if it's like, it was something you don't see. It's definitely one thing if you don't see it. But the way you describe it, and he ruined the.
Nope. He noticed because he looked over it with a fine tooth comb and. he
That's the
was
customer.
not
Well,
happy.
you respect that customer because he knows what he's about.
Right. And you have something like
You just got to take your time with it. Don't fucking rush that guy.
I understand.
Like, don't rush the job. I mean,
Absolutely.
Don't be Russian.
yeah.
I understand. You know, some guy comes in with like an 81 clapped out cab over Pete, and he's like, I don't give a shit if you dent it. It's been through hell. and
Yeah,
back."
right.
That's okay. He's
Like
like,
my
just
Crown
try
Vic.
not breaking anything, but I don't care if there's dents and bruises. You know, like, okay, cool. Guy comes in with a 2025 brand new semi with like 150 miles on it. Maybe you should take a little extra precaution to not fuck this guy's truck up because it is brand new.
Right. The horror stories are like you know, you work at Bentley, you work at
Oh my god.
you work at Aston Martin, you work
You're
at McLaren.
wearing like white cloth gloves.
Right, you work
Yeah.
at Porsche, dude. Do your fucking job. You work on race cars. Don't get off your fucking phone. Like, get
Yeah.
off your fucking phone and do your job.
I couldn't. That would be awful.
So I get. You know what? I'm gonna ask you. Is it more like? Do you think there's just ignorance? That's what it is. When we don't know something, it's just ignorance or idiocracy. It's idiocy.
So
You think it's just people not knowing?
I think that we hire and employ a plethora and like just a whole world of idiots. Like
The people in the
nobody,
highest position.
nobody knows fucking anything. Everyone's
that's
stupid.
I mean,
Nobody
we're-
knows anything.
right, we're
And
there.
like the conspiracy is like to go back to the conspiracy of this section. I think that like malice is I think that sometimes it's just like unintentional malice because, like you said, it's ignorance. Like, oh, I fixed this, but like,
You don't know.
Like what my 2010 Edge I had, they fixed my wheel hub and they dinged my power steering line underneath the wheel hub thing, or in that, like when
In
they
the vicinity, yeah, it was in
the
that area.
They clipped it, they nipped it when they did something, and they just didn't know, or they didn't care to feel like, I'll be all right. And like ignorance, lack of concern, fucking.
Fix one part, another
Yeah.
part broke.
Right.
Like,
That might boil down to, though, like experience. Experience, like an experienced tech is going to look over his work and make sure.
should a good one.
Should.
A
An
good one.
experience-
And an experienced one might look over their shit too, but they're not going to know the difference.
Right. They're going to be like, that looks fine to me.
Yeah,
Right.
what if he thinks it's right and it's totally
it's like,
fucked up?
I've looked at this thing 37 times, everything looks right. A veteran's going to come and be like, got to tighten your lug nuts to spec.
You
know? Right.
Or like whatever it was, right?
And you'll have that. It comes down to, like, how much training did the guy have? Because, I work in a shop with, and it sucks to say, a lot of... There's a caterpillar on my fucking shoe. What the fuck?
We're outdoors, people. We're bringing it to you live.
Bugs.
Check it
all the
out.
bugs.
Yeah.
Away from me.
There
I
was
just felt something
bugs.
crawling on my leg. Sorry. We have a lot of inexperienced techs in our shop. And it sucks.
Like younger guys.
Yeah. and
Like
it's-
you.
And it's
Just
kind of
kidding.
an entry-level shop.
I
and
mean,
I get that.
I probably yelled at him enough that
No,
it's
for
fucking
sure.
gotten into him, but like,
When that's the thing, everybody doesn't work the same. I like to make sure I'm thorough enough that the job's done right, And you're not
Yeah.
going to have a
I
lot of
don't.
techs.
Fuck that shit. Get it done.
get this guy the fuck out of here.
Get out of here.
But you'll have a lot of these guys. I mean, I have a coworker who's 18. Didn't know he was 18. He's 18. He's full of piss and vinegar. Kid is just like, but he tries to do a really good job.
I'm just full of piss.
Where we
Let's
have,
go. Let's go, folks.
we have kids that are 5 years younger than me, maybe. That it looks good enough. No,
Yeah, you gotta like.
and especially a car. And I'm not taking light on a car, because I work with semis, but it's you work on an 80,000. Well, the truck being at 24 to like 32,000 just by itself, but
Pounds.
yeah,
We're talking about weight.
pounds.
Yeah, not
It's
money.
not even a.
For you British people, if you're listening, it's not your money.
It's not your money.
If
But
you
no, we're
don't-
talk about the money because it's $100,000 truck.
Yeah.
It's 200,000.
Well,
We
it-
just said a $1 million show truck and it gets ruined.
Right.
But even like your day mover, your day cab, that's $150,000, dude.
Now, and then
So,
think of
like-
it this way too, just not the truck, just the truck.
Brand
That's
new.
so
You find
an
old shit.
80,000 or 40-ton plus machine. If you didn't do your job right, say you put a tire on, you didn't tighten the lug nuts all the way. That tire comes off. Now you have a 40-ton missile going somewhere.
Fuck.
He's either getting hurt, somebody else is getting hurt. The load that he was going,
guys-
it could have been specifically going. I've had a guy come in on a FedEx Express truck, and it was a medical truck. Dude was like, "Hey, I need this up and running. We're transferring fucking organs."
Organs.
Get out. I've never done some shit like
He
that.
came in. He's like, "I
You
just
can
need a tire and I
FedEx
need to get out."
organs?
Yeah,
Yeah, that is actually a thing I think
yeah,
they do.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was interesting.
like, I got a
He's like,
kid.
"Hey, we're transferring
I need
organs,
some money.
organs and blood."
You're right.
And he's like, "We got to get on the road." I don't do that right. All that
That
just-
guy-
That's
oh,
a huge
Yeah.
fucking deal.
That ends it for somebody.
That could have been going to save somebody's life.
I don't know. You never know,
Right.
man.
Going back to 40,000 pound missile, and not to detract from literally anything that you're saying, but you guys see that video of that semi pushing that car sideways down the highway?
He's like in the front grill and he's just like
And the-
sideways.
The
like
guy's like this.
yeah. And he's just committed on the
Yeah,
throttle.
he's going.
That's another subject.
That's a bad employee.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
bad. That's
It's
the
a bad
guy.
employee.
That's a bad employee.
You're fired.
So
You're fired.
So being a bad employee, that you've now caused so much problems. Somebody could die.
Yeah.
Multiple people could die.
Bad employees is like, it boils down to like negligent behavior.
Yeah,
negligence.
absolutely.
That's negligence, like
Yeah.
in anything. I don't want to do this maintenance on this vehicle, on this semi
Do
that
your
I'm driving.
fucking job.
Right.
Do
Right.
your
It's not-
'Cause,
fucking
like,
job.
You
Put
they
your
rely
phone
on
down.
you guys to fix shit, right? And then like the company and the clients rely on
It's a caterpillar all day.
you guys. Sorry,
We're so distracted. We're losing a train of thought.
We're gonna have to cut that out.
This is maybe.
We'll fix it in post. So
this is the suck of the job, folks. You gotta make a fucking podcast.
The truck drivers trust you guys to fix their trucks, and their end users trust them to deliver the goods in good faith without fucking putting other people's lives in danger.
Or spending more money.
Exactly.
It's always about the money, right? None of us want to spend more money. So when a fucking dipshit,
I don't want
your
to spend
fucking
any
kid,
money.
or your goddamn guy, like the guy who fucking like, no, use this. Are you sure? I talked to the guy. No, he didn't say that. Do it. Okay, it's on you then.
Yeah.
On you causes. If there isn't another safety check in an on you moment, okay, that's on you then. Will ruin the rest of the workforce's.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like workforce's like a main objective, their end goal. Like, I don't understand why. And this goes back to ego. This is shit we've talked about already.
Yeah.
Drop the ego in the
sure.
Well, we talked about the shop aspect, but like, and when it comes to this, it's just. I don't know. I wish it wouldn't happen. And I think that ties into, like, this is the conspiracy part where it's like the owner is that guy who never grew up. It's that bad employee who was like, fuck it. We ruined it. He had to pay for it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, by the way, you needed 3 studs. You're like, I came in here for like a break. He goes, yeah, them 3 studs were fucked though. And then you were like, I changed my... You're the guy who changed your tire 2-3 days ago, and you're like, they were just fine 2-3 days. Now I need brakes and
All
why all new tires. I just don't understand where the upsell would come from. If you do a good job and carry yourself and confidently learn and like get your job done, your customers want to come back.
Building customer relations.
That's right. Back to relations.
And it goes back to like the delivery of stuff like that, like the upsell. You know, like for me, I stopped taking my cars in for oil changes at the dealership because every time I go in, they're trying to fucking sell me something.
It was always something.
The last time I went, they're like, yeah, one of the oil techs said that your engine block is leaking, and it's it's going to be days before you get like a really bad leak, and you're going to lose all power, and you're going to have to replace your engine. We'll fix it for you for this exorbitant number here, and I'm just like, I'm going to wait on that. And they're like, you sure? You really shouldn't. You should
might
fix it
not.
now.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just like, I'm going to wait on that. I change my oil now all the time, and I looked, and I've got a small leak at the oil pan, but like it's not anything crazy, you know.
You're not putting gallons of fuel or
No,
oil.
I'm not losing any oil.
Quick note: you were dealership. You went to the dealership.
I went to the dealership.
Oh, this is gonna be a great topic, folks. We're gonna talk about dealerships and then the shop, the after, like the repair shop compared to the dealership. In my opinion, we're gonna get into that. So, but you were dealing with a dealership in that instance.
Yeah, I took my car to the Ford dealership every time for oil change because in my where I
and
live,
they kept it in records. They kept it in.
They got good records.
Right.
I got a steal of a deal on an oil change. It was like $35 for oil change every single time.
Okay.
Whereas all the other shops around wanted fucking $60 or $70 for oil change.
But they always had something.
But they're always trying to upsell me, and I would say no, I'm good. And then I started taking my car in for oil changes on Saturdays. And on Saturdays, if you don't know, is when they have like the 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds slinging oil. Like the kids that are learning that want to get into the industry.
Well, they're off of high school, right? They're out of college for the weekend.
They need time to learn too. And one kid was like, there's a leak in there. And then that's where they came in, tried to upsell me, tried to give me, try to charge me for basically to take apart my entire engine and reseal everything and whatever. And like, I might need that down the road, but they made it sound like I needed it immediately, otherwise my car was going to blow.
You're not pouring a quart a day.
No, I'm not.
Right.
I'm not. So
Well, that and I have one. We had a guy come in like 2 weeks ago. He had his truck in one of our shops in a different state, and they had to replace his belt going to his compressor and his alternator.
Okay, so it's important.
Yeah,
you need the alternator belt.
Yeah, very important.
Fuck the compressor if you even need to
Ruined.
shorten a belt.
Ruined.
Ruined. It's been
I don't know
ruined.
if it was completely gone or what the hell was happening, but he had another shop put it in. They didn't even have the belt. They couldn't even figure out what was wrong with it for like 6 hours. He said he sat for 6 hours before they're like, oh, we figured it out. It's like, oh,
you can't see a fucking belt, fucking not there.
right.
Get the fuck out of here, you fucking idiots.
And they're like,
I can be pretty aggressive when it comes to dumb people. I will let you know, but I'll try to be courteous the first couple times.
so they're like,
Maybe.
okay, we don't
I'll
have
fucking
this
yell,
belt.
man.
Oh, he had to go and buy the belt himself, bring it back so they could do it. He comes back, or he comes to our shop because it was on the way on his trip, whatever. And he's like, hey, I've got, what is it? What did he get done? An oil change, I think?
So he had service done.
He had service done at our shop.
Okay.
And he's like, every time I'm running down the road, I hear this whistling sound on the right side of my engine, and I don't know what's going on. I'm like, that's fine. I'll take a look. Don't worry about it. And I literally popped his hood. I undid the hood latch on his left side, undid the hood latch on his right side, lifted it up, and I looked down. The hose coming off of the intercooler, that big, like 3-inch, 2.5
The
inch.
Charger cooler, yeah.
The rubber
CAC,
hose.
CAC.
Yeah, the rubber hose going
Yeah.
to the turbo.
Yeah. Popped off.
The clamp wasn't even attached.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Boost leak, big boost leak.
And he's like, oh, no wonder I'm not getting too much power. I'm like, yeah. And the gasket that was on the back of the intercooler
Blown out.
was not seated correctly.
Well, the gasket, I don't know what you mean by, is by the rubber
There's-
seal, or are you
Yes,
talking about?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's
The rubber hose, yeah.
Well, not the hose itself. This one had a gasket on the inside. Like, or it had a gasket,
So like a
and then you
block-
put the rubber
like
hose.
a block plate? Or not a
No,
block
no,
plate.
no. So on the back of the intercooler, there was a rubber gasket that went around, and then you put the hose on top of the rubber gasket so it'd seal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
And people, this is like, we're talking about the front of a truck, like a big diesel mover, Volvo, Freightliner, or whatever, but like they run turbos, and the important part is everything has to be perfectly sealed or else it doesn't make pressure.
Right.
So you had an issue where the guy had just like had a bunch of shit done.
So they removed that hose so they could get to the belt. That
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
You got to
But
remove some,
he
some
said
shit.
the tech that did all of, like put it all back in was just haphazardly just kind of throwing shit in, and I'm like, I can see that, you know.
You wanted to get the job done.
The hose wasn't secured on the
Well,
back.
get the fuck out of there. It's fucking Thursday on an 8 o'clock Thursday
And
wing night. Fucking.
I'm like, hey
like
man,
wings.
I took pictures of everything, and I'm like, I immediately went to him like, hey man, this is what happened. This is what I'm looking at. This is probably your issue. He's like, that's crazy. Do I have to pay for that? I'm like, technically no, because that is our fuck up. It's our company that fucked your truck up. We have to pay for
when
that.
they first put the
Right.
shit on.
I'm like, you're not paying a fucking dime for this. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, I will go in there and double check with my manager.
I think the important part is you realize that, or like you saw it, you saw what was happening, and he had a whistle, or that's the 3 C's, like the customer complaint or the concern, the cause, and then the correction. Like, those, you can't forget that. Why is this happening? How can we fix the root cause? Is it fixed?
Right.
And like you at least realize that shit. That's the idea of not getting away from the conspiracy. Want to make people not fucking pay for shit they
Right,
don't need.
I
Like,
could have been an asshole and be like, nah,
Oh, you need-
fucked.
yeah,
you
turbo
need a
right.
$3,000
Right.
turbo. Sorry, man.
Would that guy know?
No, would have no idea.
Probably wouldn't.
He's like, I wasn't. You're
know?
right. He
if
would
your turbo blew out,
he'd be like, oh,
I
you
think
do you have a turbo? No, I'm just saying.
Not yet.
Not yet.
He probably would have agreed with me too.
You're
'cause he was like,
Shorts content coming soon.
he would have been like, yeah.
See that bad bitch back there? We're gonna fucking turbo
We
it.
did like we're gonna pan in.
He would have probably agreed.
He
with
wouldn't.
me.
Yeah, and
Because he was
would've-
like, I wasn't getting any boost, so you're probably right. And I, if I was a piece of shit, and
He
like
could have
I was
been-
just my money, I'm getting money. I'd be like, yep,
Yeah,
needs
but-
a turbo.
But that's the thing is that, okay, sorry. Do you get the money for that because you get the commission off the job?
well, in
Or
his-
does the company get the money because you get
See,
that work
that-
order?
Yeah,
that's
right,
going
and you're
more
right.
into. So that's and
This is a funny shop. This is like shop etiquette. This
Because
is
every shop is different.
so
yeah,
yes,
no way.
I,
Let's touch on it and we'll
I'm gonna
bring
yeah,
it back
I'm gonna-
later.
We'll talk about this
Yeah,
in a
dude,
different
say
episode.
say your
But
bit.
our shop is weird. So technically at the moment, I'm considered an apprentice
This
because
is how it goes, man.
ooh shit, we're getting sexual over here, guys.
Sorry.
you might get a little peek see.
That angle camera and this. Wait, all of them are
I
gonna
don't
be
think that one can see.
too late.
can.
No.
This one can. That's why I have this one looking at it. So our shop has a weird system. So you have, and most companies like warehouses will have it, and I know this is weird. We have a metric system, not like the actual metric units of measurement. Like, so if I clock into a job, the computer already states you have this much time
It keeps
to do
numbers. It just keeps numbers.
It's like
and
you have this time
Yeah,
limit
I
to
hear
do
you.
it. And if
I
you
hear
don't
you,
do it
yeah.
in this time, you're not doing your job correctly.
Oh shit.
So we have percentages. As an apprentice, I have to be above 60% for 3 weeks before they can make me a Tech 1. After Tech 1, I can make commission. But to make commission, I have to hit a certain threshold of amount of work I've done. Like, how much has, like, say a guy comes in and has $15,000 worth of work done. I've made my commission mark, I can make commission. I have to make so much money
To then make money.
to make money.
That's
So,
fucking stupid.
no, the company, to answer your question, no, the company would get that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I would just get
Then
my
I wouldn't.
hourly
I
time.
wouldn't upsell it. You know.
Right.
Keep
I
them
sold-
safe. Keep them safe. Keep the customer safe.
No. I'm saying like in that situation, I wouldn't upsell him a turbo. He doesn't need a turbo.
No,
He just needed
no.
the fucking hose reconnected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not a piece of shit that's going to be like,
Right.
you need like 10
Like,
things. No.
I don't know. I think
get
that
chili.
within a degree, I
bad.
would probably be that guy.
Just
But to a degree, I wouldn't upsell him like a 15,000 turbo kit. You know, I'd be like, okay, hey, you need this hose and this belt, something just to push myself a little bit over that.
a little bit over the threshold.
and it's not
Because
gonna
you want
cost
to do your
him.
job. And you know what the shame of it though? There's so much shit out there. There's so much fucking junk. It's not even the upsell. It's just, do you want your truck to run right? Like and that's in your world. That's just
Right.
truck. In the customer world where we're just driving your Ford to that Volkswagen and my fucking Ram piece of shit, like, hey dude, that axle boot's torn. You should do it. Also, you got this, but that axle boot's going to fuck your day up and you're going to be broken on the side of the road because the other stuff is like, okay, the belt's starting to crack. Yeah, I saw 2 cracks in the belt. The belt will last. The tires, you got 6:30 seconds. You're on the yellow, right? Abe Lincoln's head. But that fucking axle boot is going to fucking fuck your day up if you also 4-wheel drive your shit every day. So, like, just do that. I think that's the, like...
Yeah, yes, I think so.
I think that's what it's like.
Also, I think it comes down to as well, and going back on like customer relations, like if you get a customer that's repeated, and you build that connection, this kind of coexists into what you do. Like you do enough work for a customer, and I'm not saying be a piece of shit. I'm not saying that at all. But like, the more work you do for a customer, and the better he likes it,
Yeah.
he might be more
Inclined to
be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should get that.
Right.
You know what? That's probably a good idea. You've been doing a lot of solid work for me. You know what?
I'm just going to listen to this guy.
Yeah, let's fucking
and I'll
do it.
listen to, I would listen to you guys. I go to you, the first thing I have an idea for a sticker even. You're like a fucking, you're an art guy. Why would I not fucking,
Now,
that would be
folks, yeah.
stupid. Yeah, just to talk to you for a couple minutes.
Now that
You're my
is
paying customer.
that's
Sometimes.
the difference. Now there's also the difference between a customer paying for it and his company paying for it.
Company,
A company is going to tell you
contract
no.
work and shit. Oh, dude.
Some companies like
Contract work, I will be looking for.
You're gonna milk that contract.
Yeah, like I work for myself now, or like
Right.
even as a dealership guy, and I had my deal worked out in the dealership world, but like you earn some commission, you have to. So I'm like, I know this is gonna happen. Let's just. You know what the best part of the dealership is? At least it's written down. Like you had oil changes or whatever.
Yep.
You had this certified dealership service vehicle or this equipment or this piece of whatever. The guy who installed your AC unit in your home and you called him out every time, he can't be like, at some point he's got to be like, it's fine.
it really
And he probably fucking eats his own words, but like he's gonna appreciate it. He's just gonna appreciate a fucking $100 service call where it's just like $100, man. I'm here. It's fine. It's great. Let's see ya.
It depends, I think, and this is more so my world, but it depends on the company, because some companies will have an allocated fund already sitting. Like, hey, if you're gonna do like between $500 and $2,000, go for it.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. Keep it in that range. Do what you got to do. Now, some companies are like, absolutely not. Everything
has to be approved, right?
Yeah. Some will just be, nah. If it's under $500, fucking change it.
You know what's broken? You know what's technically broken?
What's
The
that?
system. The fucking system.
This is most systems
And
are.
all systems are technically, they're fucking broken.
They're all
Do you want to know why? Because shit like that. They're not going to approve a repair because it goes over budget. Even if it's necessary, they're going to have to. They're going to want to wait before they have to eat that cost.
8 people have to say yes.
Yeah, they have to get it before a board. It has to go through process. It's like 3 weeks to even fucking see the first guy.
You know what? And
Bureaucracies.
I can
the
back-
broken.
I can back right off of that and go into our and can use that as a nice segue of
Is it
our next one, used tires. There was
Used
a
tires.
board of people that said, "Hey, we should reuse these rubber fucking things that go on your car or your truck
Wait.
or your."
We're in the worth it or junk it. Is this worth it or junk? Is all of this, any of this, worth it or
The
junk
conspiracy?
it? Worth it conspiracy into used tires right now. And if people have never bought a used tire or considered it,
You're taking
is
a
this worth?
fucking gamble.
This is a gamble. Is it worth it or junk it? And this
Actually,
is
well, I bought tires once, used ones. Remember? I'm sorry.
I've bought used tires multiple times.
I bought used tires one
I've
time.
bought used tires.
I bought used tires.
I'll admit.
one time. It was for my 1979 Chevrolet Caprice. I was driving home from your house, Mario, and I got a flat on the side of the road, and I was like, "Can I park this in your driveway?" And you're like, "Yeah, get fucking tires."
Yeah.
And then we went like the next weekend.
We got
and
some
got
tires.
from some shady guy.
So yeah, right. Okay. And when I bought a used tire, it's never been on a motorcycle. Guys, everyone,
Don't do
guys,
that.
gals, everybody. Hey everybody, do not buy a used fucking tire for a motorcycle. Dirt bike is one thing maybe in a certain world. When you're on a street tire, don't take that risk. You only have 2 to hold you up. For the love of God, please just consider saving the extra $30, $40 because I already know that's what the price range is. Get yourself some quality, good tires for your motorcycle.
This should tell you something, people. In the semi world, you will never, ever, ever see a used tire put on a semi steer tire. Ever.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever, ever. It's always brand new. It is
Yeah.
not legal to put a used tire.
It is not
On
legal
a
to
steer.
be
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Nope,
Yeah.
you cannot. It is not legal.
Yeah.
And why would you want to?
Why take that risk? Right.
I mean, why would you want to use tire anyways? I mean, I get it.
well,
Budgets, but
used tires make sense, dude. Like,
let's
I
okay.
guess.
So
is it,
it'll be-
well, you're already like junk it. Fuck you. Why would you ever
So,
fucking use a
do not
fucking?
say-
It's a junk
we
tire.
have two. So in the semi world, we have 2 alleys now with a used tire, because now you have a tire that was perfectly fine. Driver was just like, you know what? Maybe I want a brand new set of tires. Fuck it, keep my old ones. Okay, we can resell those because they're still good. It'll get somebody buying a pinch. Maybe they needed a spare. It'll get them buying a pinch.
It'll get you
it
by.
depends. I think it depends though on the degree of used.
Right. Well, and that's going to be a shop.
I think that's yeah.
You're
That's
selling me a tire with like a fucking fraction. I don't know percentages or
It's a
fractions.
be out of 30 seconds.
yeah.
If
30
it's like
is the number.
1/32, is that a lot?
no 130
There's like
seconds.
1/30 seconds left to fucking
That-
tread.
well, that's not
Fuck
legal
you.
to
I'm not.
sell anyway.
Don't do that.
Yeah, we wouldn't. People probably wouldn't. Sell
No,
that.
but like that fucking shop we went to, that shady
It
son of a
had
bitch
some
would be
shit.
selling 5
He
30
wouldn't
seconds of a
give
fucking
a
tire. and
fuck,
be like, hey,
dude.
$200. You take,
you take,
fuck
you
yourself.
yeah, you buy, right? Take, please take.
You buy. I thought
buy-
you
yeah, you
give
buy,
me
yeah.
money. Give me money. How much you got?
That is an indiscriminate accent. Fuck you all if you can figure that out.
gender neutral.
It's,
I
yeah,
mean,
right.
fuck.
So
Put your fucking race behind it. It doesn't matter. It
other-
happens, and we've all been there.
right. The other alley of a used tire, and now you're not going to see this on a car normally, because when a car's tread fucking goes, the tire's gone. You're not going to reuse it. A semi, on a lot of occasions, they will reuse the tire, cut the tread off, and put a new tread on. It's called a retread.
Retread.
So
Yeah,
does
that's what the
does
retread
that count
is.
for? Okay, so you said that steer tires can't be used tires. Can steer tires be retreaded?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, actually,
No,
yeah,
you
steer
cannot.
tires can be retreaded to rears, aren't they? Can,
So they can be. So you
Yeah.
can use a steer. So they yes.
right.
Okay.
That's
So
what I'm
clarify
saying.
on this.
Yeah.
a steer tire can be retreaded, but not on the steer axle.
Not on the steer. They cannot turn.
So steer is always new, no matter what.
Brand new, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
all right.
You
Yeah.
can take a steer tire
and put some
retread it,
new
and then put
goo
it
on
your-
it. Yeah, put some new
and
fucking
put it
shit
on
on
drive.
it. Right.
Yeah.
but you
Okay.
or a trailer tire, but you
Yeah.
cannot put it on the front of the truck.
Right.
You cannot.
Yeah, new steer tires. And it's funny because the lingo is probably a little goofy, even to our listeners and viewers. It's like a steer tire is literally that. It only steers. So you look at any car, you could look at your car right now. A steer tire, only the front tires, right? They're the only tires that steer.
Correct.
That is your steer tire. They turn left, they
Unless
turn
you
right,
have
they
that
go
fucking-
up, down, reverse,
that
backwards,
quad
forwards.
turn
Hopefully
bullshit.
not up and down, hopefully. But like,
Unless you got those fancy, weird cars that have the quad turn, which there are
crab walk,
some.
yeah,
there are
crab-
some, but
not likely.
Yeah, no.
You're not gonna. And you're crab walking in the Hummer, the new Hummer HEV
Yeah.
or whatever, is only like at up to 3 miles an hour because it does parking like that.
Yeah.
So the whole fucking SUV just moves to the side like a goddamn cartoon, which is bananas. By the way, if people could think like 40 years ago that they're like, I don't need a parallel park,
Yeah. Right?
like people would shit their pants.
There's like
But-
a 90s Honda that does that too.
Maybe I
Not
don't
crab
know.
walk, but it has four-wheel
steering.
Yeah.
Like 3000 GT had a rack and steer, but it's only like 10 degrees. Like
Yeah.
it was never much, and it was never at like anything below 30 miles an hour or what low speeds
I
are.
think the Honda I'm thinking of, though, it does go like 30 degrees. It's pretty crazy.
It goes far.
Yeah.
But like, okay, it can try. It can do
But-
some shit.
as he was saying, it's your front axle, the axle that's when you turn your steering wheel, it's the tires
That's
that
a
actually
steer
turn.
axle.
That's a steer.
Yeah. and
Drives
that's-
are going to be the ones that move your car or truck forward.
Yeah.
So your back axle, everything, when you hit ice, you hit mud, and you gun it, and those are the tires that are going to spin unless you're in four-wheel drive. But
Yeah.
they're usually the back axles.
Yeah.
Now, you can put a retread on the back axle all day long. Would I recommend it? No, absolutely not. They're fucking horrible.
Some, I don't mind, man. I will pay for that price. And in the consumer world, like this goes back to listen, we all drive a car. Most of our steer axle and drive axle is the front axle. Where they're looking at this Volkswagen. Actually, not the Crown
Not
Vic.
mine,
That's
'cause I'm
that's
American.
that's the last of the good old American V8 rear wheel drive. Like it really is. But like any of the rest of us, from a Nissan Altima to it doesn't matter. They're all like Toyota Corolla. Think of any Chevy Equinox. They're all front wheel drive, front wheel steer. So like in the car world, not a chance you would ever have like a rebuilt tire. But in the truck world,
It's very
it's
common.
very common.
And-
You just take the old shit and rebuild new shit around it.
Well, is
And
it because like car
it's a lot
tires?
of rubber, dude.
Well, yeah, car tires don't have the surface area to make it like
Yeah,
feasible.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make
you
sense.
recycle the whole thing,
Yeah.
restart over from new. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
No, yeah, that's just
But the truck world, I like a used. Okay, there's two fucking worlds of used tires.
That's
the
fine,
truck
yeah.
world for you because that's it. But for us, and this is gonna go into the next bit, the junkyard used tire.
Yeah.
The junk. We're gonna go get a used tire from. Maybe there is a guy who's outside of Discount Tire, outside of Bell Tire, outside of Mavis Tire,
Firestone.
outside of a Firestone. Who else around around the country, y'all? Whoever's listening, you all have seen that. There's it's like, hey man, it's not new, but we want to put it on.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's the price difference? He goes, brand new one's $110. Used one, $50. What you think, man? You want? Oh, you know what's even better? I got two. I'll sell you two for $100. That's even $10 less than two brand new ones. But would you put a used tire on your car? Hell yeah, I would.
yeah.
I said earlier that I don't agree with used tires, but I would definitely do that.
You've done it.
I'm broke, dude, all the time.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I'm gonna take the $50 credit and I'm gonna put that shit on my fucking.
I'm gonna
car.
give me the two. Give me the two tires.
And like, if I think that like there's also an inherent trust with shops that sell used tires.
Right.
If you're buying stuff from the junkyard, you're kind of it's luck of the draw. Take your own risks. They don't put like you would think they don't put like the shitty tires up. They put like whatever they can. But you also have to understand that like it's mix and match. Like no tire is the same.
It's going to be probably the same.
Not all tires come off the same car. You know?
have
like
one Yoda
definitely not.
the one
Just-
yard I go to. I guess we're gonna just cut right into it. The one yard I go to, they have a tire rack when you enter into the yard. To your right immediately,
You see a bunch of
is
tires.
a rack with a bunch of tires. The tires are priced with the rim because they're like fucking get it out.
Get it out of here. Metal
We don't give a
rim.
shit.
Sometimes it's a piece of
Sometimes
shit
it's
aluminum.
Steelies, sometimes
Yeah.
they're not.
Right.
Whatever. Get them out of here. Don't give a shit. And sometimes they're all mix and match. Some of them are the same. Some of them are like the same like depth or whatever, the same numbers.
Hopefully.
All
right.
different brands, all different shit, and it's super complicated. It's not complicated, I guess.
Well, if you're looking for the specific
it's
kind
hard.
of tire,
I
yeah.
was looking for tires for the Vic before I just went on the internet and bought new ones. I was like, I'm gonna put used tires on it. I'll take fucking $10 tires. You know, fucking.
Okay.
That's
Worth
a
it
tough
or
one.
junk it? Worth it or junk it?
Used tires.
Wonk it in.
It's
It's
a hit or miss.
situational.
Especially in
it's
industrial
contextual.
world. Especially in the industrial world.
'Cause I was
you can
on-
find an old used tractor tire, like the tractor got smashed into a ditch or something horrible. Like we're talking about farmer shit.
Well, my situation was
Like-
that I had this car that I just got, and we were all excited about it, and I had a blowout, and I needed fucking tires. And like you looked at them, you're like, yeah, you probably got some whatever, but I didn't really you factored it in, but I didn't really factor in how long that car had been sitting in one spot, and so like there were like
Dry rot.
yeah,
Yeah.
You see the
and like
cracking
it
along it.
looked okay, but they no, the first one went, and I'm like, well, it's gonna happen to the other ones too.
Probably, yeah.
So like, and then I thought about it after looking at the junkyard tires, and I'm like, I don't want to take that risk. So I just bought new ones.
It's worth okay. So it depends on the budget. Like if you're fucking struggling, you need a set of rubbers on the
Yeah.
car.
Like your
absolutely
car is your
fucking put a
lifeline.
used. Yeah,
Especially
put a
where
used-
we live, rural. The car is the lifeline. You know.
You need it. And especially if it's like in his world, the truck guys. That's
Yeah.
their job.
That's their bread.
So I am broken in between it. I'm like a Wonk-It guy because I have seen used motorcycle tires go on shit. I haven't seen them blow out, but like,
I
but
wouldn't
also-
trust that. Yeah.
right, dude, I'm not putting it on a motorcycle.
used
For the
motorcycle-
love of God, people want to reiterate: do not put used motorcycle
A new
tires on.
motorcycle tire
Used
isn't
dirt bike
even that-
tires.
A used motorcycle or a new motorcycle tire. I mean, it depends on what brand you're getting and if you're going like Pirellis or something. But like if you're going just some basic bitch fucking Michelin's,
Yeah.
you're not paying that.
It's just you know what? It's expensive to put them on.
Michelin's
Yeah.
are
The
expensive.
motorcycles to do an entire motorcycle, you got to Goldwing. We're taking bags off, drive shafts got to come off. Like that's not a light job, man. Putting a tire on, and why risk it though? Why you're like I'm already there. Put some junk that was
no.
sitting in the
You're
sun for
already paying
8
for it.
years.
Yeah, no.
So I'm very wonky. In instances, people grab the wrong instance. Like, don't do that. But like, if a big industrial equipment, you're like, this thing burned to the ground and somehow the tire survived. I would trust it. Like the thing moves 2
Not
miles
with
an
that-
hour.
Not with that heat. Fuck that. I ain't
Maybe.
using those tires.
If it's not melted, I don't know.
I'm with you there. So like again in my world, it's like just regular used tires. Like if you throw a set of used on the semi, maybe he just needs it for the next 800 miles.
He's gonna sell the truck. You're gonna sell the
maybe
truck.
His dispatch is like, hey, when you're done with your next couple of runs, we've already got a set waiting for you.
right.
Just throw a used on there. We'll throw the whole set.
Put them off. Put even the used tires off to the side as a spare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
As a spare.
Because you never know. I'm not so fond of the retreads because they're never always guaranteed to be the best. And
Retreads will. That's road gator. If
bite ya.
y'all people have seen, if everybody who's been driving down the highway seen a huge chunk of rubber of a tire,
it's probably a retread.
right? Thank you.
Yeah.
You're like, that's a road gator. Come up and bite you, and then fucking ruin your day.
And you're taking a gamble. But if he's just like, throw a retread on there
I need to get home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna consider I'm gonna consider the fact that it might happen a bad situation. It's gonna shred apart, but I'm not using it that long. It's a spare. It's an emergency. I don't want to put 8 retreads on my drives.
No.
That's all 8 tires that are like, I'd be like, oh no, 2 of those are gonna fucking shit out. But I'm going to the junkyard. Okay, tires, wonk it.
Yeah, I'm
be
split.
careful, people.
I'm split.
Yeah, I'm split between it. It's more
Not
worth
on
it.
motorcycles.
Not on motorcycle. That's
Absolutely
a
not.
fucking junket. Please, for the love of God, just consider what you're looking at and make sure nothing's cracked, dry rotted, and coming apart on you. So I think we've all bought a used tire, or a lot of us, and I think it's okay as long as it's not gonna fucking kill you, like a spare. Hopefully it gets you where you need to go. But the junkyard.
So I love the junkyard, and
You can find some good shit in the
I
junkyard.
think- okay, so here in the U.S. of A. America, howdy,
Midways.
we have very different types of junkyards depending on where you are. So locally to me, the junkyard, and they're usually open very obscure hours. So one
Kinda.
junkyard that I used to go to all the time is only open from noon to 3:30 on like most of the week, and then Saturdays they're open from like 11 to noon, and it's like figure it out or don't, you know. The one I go to now more often is actually open till 6 during the week, which is super convenient for me because when I get off work, I still have a few hours to go there and pull shit off if I need to. And so, like, anyways, there's different types of junkyards. There's the U-Pullets, and then there's the ones where you go in there.
Show up and they got parts.
They got parts, and then there's another one where you go out, you write down on a log what you want, the number of the car, where it's at, and they'll go pick it for you.
Oh,
And-
yeah, I've seen that.
And-
I've seen that world.
And you'll pay a little bit extra, and it comes super in handy if you're looking for like an engine or a transmission. You don't
Yeah.
want to pull that shit yourself. So like they'll lift the
How
car
much am I
up-
saving?
They'll lift the car up with a crane, charge you like $50 to pull it off themselves. So if the trans costs you $200, you're spending $250 on a brand new, well, not a brand new, but you're spending $250 on a
used-
transmission,
a brand
used trans.
brand new to me, motherfucker.
so, like,
I don't care.
I follow this guy on YouTube that he does that because he spent years pulling them off himself, and he's like, you know what? I got the following, I got the money. I'm just gonna pay to have someone else do it. Give them a couple bucks, you know, whatever. And so, junkyards are super convenient for like people like me and Mario and Caleb, I would imagine, because it gives you the opportunity to go and get parts that are, you know, lightly to heavily used at a severe discount. Like the other week, I just pulled off an intake manifold for Crown Victoria, and I paid $50 for it. You
Way
know?
cheaper than the
Brand
200
new-
and something.
Brand new, like
300.
from Ford, they're like $300-400.
Yeah.
And you know, you can find them on eBay for cheaper. You can find them on eBay for, but still, like that price point for something that is probably going to be fine. You know,
It's going to take an hour of your
it's still
day
a gamble. It's
for
still a
your
gamble.
yeah.
It's still a gamble, but like it's at what cost? You just put in the time,
Yeah.
and like the little bit of money. You know, for me, that gamble makes sense because like I know that part, whether or not it's reliable, I didn't invest like thousands of dollars in this shit to break.
And
you know?
hopefully.
And you never know. Like going into a junkyard, you know, you could have say the car got totaled because you got rear-ended. Front end's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good
Nothing's
point.
wrong
Good
with
point.
the front end. He got rear-ended, and the insurance company said, "Well, it's not worth fixing." So, junkyard.
Yeah.
So now the front end of this car is immaculate.
Yeah.
There wasn't nothing wrong with
The
it.
rear end's totally smashed in.
And hey, maybe I needed, you know, exhaust manifold, fucking. Yeah, maybe
Some
I
from the
needed
front.
whole
The
motor.
front. Yeah, the
motor was
front.
fine, but the ass end was fucked up.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Maybe he fucking ran it into a wall.
Yeah. You don't know. That's the luck of the junkyard. That's the luck of the draw.
And then maybe you needed that rear axle. Guess what? That thing's still fucking good.
I'm just a firm believer in reuse and recycle and repurpose, like the whole bit. So I think if you can find the right part in the right condition, in your instance, like let's say your AC compressor, probably not.
I'm not
that
doing
thing.
that.
Yeah, do not do that. Yeah, that thing's been sitting out in a junkyard for months or years or
Yeah.
wherever before that. So, and then that's something that should always be in a vacuum. Like a compressor should always never have any moisture stuck in it or never it degrades the efficiency of it.
Yeah.
So your AC compressor, not happening.
No.
But hey, man, we need a rear end because you decided to fucking neutral drop your shit, and now that thing's in pieces.
Yeah.
It was awesome, but like, dude, come on. So,
And there's a
yeah.
perfectly good Crown Vic.
yeah, Crown Vic, right? Yeah, with
Seals are all good.
whatever they come with, 9 bolts or whatever they're called now. But like that, do it, you know, and look them over. Good thing is, hopefully, in most junkyards, you got like a 1, 2, three's way over on the other side for some reason, but like you got three-ish, one to look at. Fucking go look.
Go like 9 Crown Vics.
Yeah, you got like in the
to.
case of your car, and like my truck needs a bumper, but like in that instance, it's newer, and it's most of them get rear-ended because they're slow. Like they're pieces of shit.
This one didn't get well. It kind of got rear-ended, but by a pond.
He got self-rear-ended.
Yeah,
That's a my bad.
The downside, I think, to junkyards are like the environmental implications because you got a bunch of old shit, fluids leaking everywhere,
Yeah.
cars sitting out in the open.
Good point,
and,
man.
And it really affects the area around it, and it degrades property value. Probably it, it kills shit. Like.
Yeah.
And like that's why they're usually not centrally located. They're kind of off in the corner behind like in an industrial yard or whatever, out of the way, because like that shit's like toxic, and
Got a pile
it really
of fucking
like
lithium batteries just sitting.
yeah.
I don't know about lithium yet, but
a lot
those junkyards are probably coming, which is going to be scary. Like
a lot of places right now they pull the batteries out of the cars.
right, they would hopefully pull and stack or whatever. You can even buy used batteries at the junkyard if you don't want to pay that $150 premium at Walmart. Come on, people,
Better
buy a
test
new
that battery though.
Yeah,
Go to
I'm better
Walmart.
test that battery.
I would say go to Walmart and buy the like mid tier. I spent
Get the EverStart.
Yeah,
Right, get the
I
Ever.
spent $75 on the EverStart.
But you know what? You can go to a junkyard and get it could be that's the thing. You go to junkyard, brand new battery, $30.
Yeah.
The guy ran it for 10 minutes and then his fucking car crashed or
true.
Yeah, right? Like
It could be an interstate battery.
exactly. The real deal battery. So I'm just going to come up and junkyards are always worth it. Call ahead. You hate to get there and be like, we haven't seen one of them bitches in like 15 years. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the
I'd
one
be like,
I go
well,
to. They've got a full, not a map.
my
but they've got
fingers
a
were
log
crossed
sheet.
for a day.
They got a log sheet of all the cars in there
Yeah.
and then the date that they're added. So like, I was able to check before we went and saying, hey, they just got 3 new of these ones that we were able to go pull parts off of, and it's convenient, like, because another aspect of it that is good that I think is that while you're there, especially like me, where you're amateur, novice, like mechanic or whatever, you're learning shit without the implication of breaking shit that you have to drive every day. Like you're teaching me, hey, you need these bolts to take off on the manifold, whatever. You need to do this, this, and this, and this. Fuck it, you can cut that hose. You don't have to worry about it right now. And then it's like, hey, this is a banjo clip. You got a special tool to go in there, pop this hose out, whatever. But on this one, take a pocket knife, cut it off. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about breaking shit. I mean, you should probably be conscientious of the other people
the
that need
next
to go back
guy.
there.
Yeah.
Like that they also might need those things. But if you're taking that whole thing, like I took
Just-
the manifold rails and all the little fuel injectors.
Everything but the EGR too.
Right. I took everything. And so like I was able to learn, oh shit, this is actually pretty easy to take off. Putting it on is probably not going to be that difficult either, as long as I have all this shit lined up ahead of time.
Yeah, you went through the experience of
Yeah.
just getting it off and
Right,
learning at
exactly.
least the bolts.
You're learning.
Yeah, I think it's important. Junkyards are it's another teaching aspect. It's like, okay, we know this part went bad. What is going to take the steps to just get it replaced?
Yeah.
And it could be, your battery died and left you on the side of the road, and then you went and got a battery, and it's like, oh, it's still dying. You need an alternator. You're going to go get an alternator, and you've never worked on even your car for an alternator. At least you can take off a bunch of shit, cut a belt, cut the belt. Nobody's going to a junkyard to buy belts. And if you are, shame on you.
Yeah,
go to the auto tune, go to the crap auto parts, get yourself that $20 belt. Don't go to the junkyard and get the $5 belt, because you're gonna get a $5 result.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
but yeah, you're as the way you're saying is just don't take junkyards for granted.
No,
Almost,
yeah, definitely
it's like
not.
they'll teach you. They will at least give you an idea. Maybe you don't have the exact same model, but that exact same part works for you. You get an idea of like, oh, this went on this way or whatever, and like
Every one of them is an experience in itself
Yeah.
too. We went to one up north, and it was small, but it was like kind of cool because like it was very well organized. It was very
it by
well
the
put
city? It's
together.
probably by the city. Yeah.
No, it was like out. Like we went to go pick up some stuff, and it was out on the. It's out in.
Oh, okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay.
So it was smaller, but it was really nice because it was very clean and very well organized. And
Yeah.
everything had a place, and everything had a thing. There weren't parts laying around everywhere, and I was able to get a new cup holder for my car, and it was like $10.
Whatever, better than
Right.
yeah. And maybe it was a factory. It said Ford on it. That's why it's fucking $10. But yeah, I mean, you don't know what you're gonna find in a junkyard. Sometimes it's worth it just look around. You went in there for something, and guys, also like the little tips and tricks of a junkyard is like take some fuses with you. Take a couple nuts and bolts that you don't think you're like, oh, I got every nut and bolt. No, grab an extra 8 mil by 125 pitch. You know, like grab some of the other stuff that you had to take off to get to what you're getting, and put that in your pocket. The junkyards don't care, honestly. They want to move stuff and they want to get gone. So like that's like a little bonus from the junkyard. You get some fuses, you get some new bolts, new hardware, maybe
relays, lots of relays.
Yeah, relays almost don't exist in modern day car because everything's a transistor. But yeah, get some relays for your older stuff. I mean, headlights still use relays, so yeah, worth it all day on a junkyard.
Worth it, yeah, dude. I'm on that one.
Worth it. Day. And yeah, fuck. Any other bits on the junkyard?
No, man. I
think it sucks.
I think we will wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
We wrap it up for today. I think everything we talked about is it's important things to consider, important things to think about. If you're into conspiracies or whatever, it's not really a conspiracy. It's just like a suspicion. People are suspicious. You'll always be suspicious. Be suspicious. Suspicious. Be suspicious.
And I think a good thing about that is like a good thing to think about. Like if you got to take your car into the shop, look into it a little bit. Be like, okay,
do your research.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Like,
Absolutely.
if I think something's wrong in my car, take 20, 30, an hour, and like Google's wonderful.
Yeah.
Google some shit. Look, hey, maybe somebody had the same problem I'm having, and that'll narrow it down. So when you get to the shop, be like, I'm pretty sure this is what's wrong with my car, because now you're almost eliminating a couple of things. Now you're hopefully not going to get that upsell of, now you're fucking.
You should probably get it, but you're informed. You're informed on what's going on.
And
Yeah, like the idea that you build, and you're like, okay, this, I think. And
I'm pretty sure. And then that also helps the other end of it, too, because now if it's like a decent mechanic, he'll be like, all right, this is where I'm going to start my check.
Yeah.
Like, okay, thank you. Now I can at least get a rough idea of what I'm getting into.
Yeah, mutual appreciation.
Not car makes noise.
Yeah, the conspiracy.
Go fast.
No, it does not throttle up. The conspiracy side is just goofy, and do your due diligence, like you said, Caleb. Like, go check your Google reviews. Go talk to the guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ask your mechanic, because you won't know otherwise.
Also, though, another thing to add into that, when you're checking your reviews, this is what I do.
Phone call? Nobody makes a fucking phone call.
Well, no, and it's our generation, really.
Yeah,
Nobody wants
it really
to call
is.
anyone.
No, I don't want to talk to anybody.
But I check the reviews. I start with the 1-star reviews, and I read them. Because if you read them, you'll always find a common theme. This guy didn't want to do this. I brought this shitty eBay part, and he didn't want to put it on.
Yeah.
And like all their 1 stars.
That's on you, buddy.
All their 1 stars are like silly things like that. Like, I called them, and they didn't answer the phone. I showed up, and they were closed. Dude, it was fucking Sunday. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
You got to like do thorough like vetting before you bring it somewhere.
Right. Also, look at the dates of those reviews.
Yeah.
If this is dated like 15 years back,
change your opinion for like a second.
chances are you might not see the same tech that worked on it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you really liked that shop. But I mean, you're probably going to have some fresh faces in there, new ideals, new knowledge. Because shit's getting new. You gotta have a new perspective on it.
And that's what it really is. It's the conspiracy of like, is this shop fucking me? Is it the dealership? We're gonna get into that later. So definitely with some more people involved. And I don't know if it's gonna be a problem later. Is it gonna are they screwing whatever? And then that's just like when it really comes down to, maybe you didn't go to the dealership, you didn't go to the shop down the road. Is this just how much this job sucks? And you truly realize how much you're like, okay, this alternator wasn't 10 minutes.
And we live in a society of like infinite knowledge. We have
it's
the internet.
so quick, dude. It is so.
You could go on the internet and take 3 seconds to Google. Google's free. You can take 3 seconds to be like, well, what does this noise mean on my car or whatever.
Yep.
And then you get like 37 links, videos, whatever. Be like, this is what this could be. This is what this could be. And everyone is like, there's forums of people trying to help other people. And there's also other people trying to fuck other people. But you know what? That's something different.
You have to weed that out.
Yeah,
do your due diligence.
Do your due diligence and vet your responses. Check everything, and then inform yourself. Always try to be informed, because the less you know, the more people can take advantage of you.
So brilliantly worded, dude. Yeah, seriously.
There's also websites you can go to
that have porn on them.
Yeah. Those are important.
Hand job. Everybody check out that link I linked.
Hand jobs are coming soon.
But they have websites that literally have old, current, master level techs, old retired level tech, master techs, that literally just sit on a website. It's ask me questions.
Yep.
What do you got going on? I'll give you my best opinion. Obviously, he's not going to know because he can't. He's not there, right? Looking at it, but at least he can give you some sort of information. Based on what you gave me, it sounds like you're.
This is the general idea.
Yeah,
this is where I'm kind of bringing a conclusion. Look at this, look at that. A, B, C at the worst.
Yeah,
and the information is just there's just so much. It is just abundant. Use it. People use your Google machine, use your fucking Alexa box in your pocket or whatever they're called. But that's just what it is. Do your due diligence. And so watch out for the shops.
Be informed.
And just expect the suck of the job.
Right.
And the job's gonna suck sometimes.
Granted, if you just put in car make noise, you are going to be flooded with millions of pages of just random BS.
Awesome, Caleb,
I farted. Did I also shit my pants?
Right.
Well, you might want to check your cabin air filter.
Right. It's going to be overwhelming. I'm not going to lie.
In the beginning, for sure.
If it helps yourself if you can narrow down
start small.
Right. I have a noise coming from the front right side of my engine bay. Okay, that's a great place to start instead of just there's a noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
at least help yourself.
Also, when you're getting into cars specifically, start by changing your oil.
Maintenance, your maintenance.
Yeah.
Right.
Start with your daily maintenance. Oh, I gotta fill my fluid. Oh, I gotta change my oil.
You hear when you hit the brake. Maybe look at your fucking brakes.
Start small and get comfortable. That's what I did. I started with oil, and now I do my oil changes every time.
Without a worry.
I'm not worried. I'm confident in my skill of changing my oil, and I do it for other people too.
Right. I was and when you do maybe something aside from that, you're you heard something, you're gonna at least look.
Right.
You're gonna just go a little bit more and be oh shit. Yeah. When you realize,
hey, my car shakes. Look at your tires first.
Yeah.
That could be a good possibility. Right. Are my tires low? Seriously. Most modern day cars will tell you, hey, what's your tire PSI at?
Yep.
It'll tell you. Look at that. If not, then you move past that. What's connected to the tire?
What if my tire sensor's broken?
Well,
that is a better option.
That's more 70s, right? Nobody gives a shit now. Nobody cares. We're not adjusting a carburetor or a fucking ignition dwell timing on a distributor. I'm just it's a lost art to keep up with your stuff, but that doesn't mean you should be unsafe. These guys said, check your tires.
Yeah.
Fucking, if you heard a noise, maybe just stop and make sure there isn't a coyote stuck in your grill.
And if you know
or a raccoon or whatever.
If you know you're going to be driving for an extended period of time, check your fluids, check your tires.
Do you have washer fluid?
Everything.
Simple enough. Do you have washer fluid? Right.
That's what I did.
Do you have oil?
This rental.
Right. Yeah.
I got a rental and it was
my guy over here is about to blow a fucking Passat in half, and he's probably shouldn't do that. Look. Simple enough. That's all it took. It'd be a light came on. Just look. Check engine light came on. Engine's there. At least do that.
God forbid it's our generation and the generations under us. We just jump into cars.
Yeah.
A lot of people just. The generations before us, they used to teach that in school. They'd bring cars and be like, "Hey, this is what you're supposed to do when you're in a car." Now it's just jump in and go. It hit starts right. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll just go.
People don't give a shit nowadays.
No, not at all.
They give less of a shit than they did
Please.
before.
I think you're right, man.
For your safety and everybody else's safety, give your car a once over. Every once in a while. Fuck.
Are we becoming a public service?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's broken.
Oh fuck. Let's get out of here, fellas.
Wrap it up.
Wrap her up, dude.
We love
for
you.
God's sake.
Caleb, take it out.
All right, guys. I'm Caleb the Hunted. I'm your whatever producer, technical director, whatever the hell I am. You can find whatever the fuck my job is.
Yeah, he's Caleb.
You'll find me on Twitter or former Twitter. Is now X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, a little on YouTube. I mean, you'll find me pretty much. You put in Caleb _ the Hunted _ you're gonna find me, guaranteed.
And just follow the links.
Yeah, just we'll get some links up there.
Right on.
Pass it over to Mario.
Yeah. Hey everybody. I'm signing the fuck off. Thank you all for tuning out. Tuning out. Yeah, I tuned out. I tune in.
All the time.
Wait, what were we talking about?
Episode 6, Technically Broken. And if you came from the TikToks or if you just on YouTube and want to leave some comments, reviews, questions, criticism, I don't care. This is where I plug my stuff. Everything else you can check out Whole Baked Cookie on TikTok. I am on Snapchat, and it's obviously check out the YouTube's channel. Like I said, it's all linked down below. But I love you all as fucking listeners. People you never know when you're gonna run into somebody or like just co-human. Just let's all help each other and let's do some cool stuff and start a discussion anywhere and everywhere. And thank you all. I'm going to pass it over to Botar.
And I'm Botar. We're going to wrap it up here for y'all. Anyways, I'm Botar, B0TAR. My Botar designs with a regular O. On Instagram, on probably X, Twitter, whatever. I'm on TikTok, Botar, at B0TAR. And yeah, all that shit's down. Thank you guys all for everything that you do. You 8 guys that fucking listen to us every time we post.
Or ladies.
Or ladies.
One gal.
You ambiguously gendered individuals. We love you. Also, rate us 5 stars on whatever you listen to us to. Doesn't matter what you write in the fucking review. You could tell us that your asshole hurts. Well, you know what? Thank you for that. And handies are coming for all you guys that fucking listen to us.
Stay tuned. We got that.
Stay tuned for handies. But no, seriously, it's crazy. We're on episode 6, and wrapping up episode 6 is just, it's wild to think that these 3 idiots had an idea and they came together and said, fucking let's do something. And it doesn't make sense, and it does make sense, and it's fucking great, and it's amazing. And thank you guys for everything. We appreciate you. Till next time.
Awesome. All right, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm
See y'all. Let's go.
Can I even get out of this chair?